This summer in Atlanta, the greatest spectacle in sports, the Olympic Games, return to America on NBC.
Right from the sky, we are born crazy. Right from the sky, we are born to be wild. Right from the sky, we are born crazy. Right from the sky, we are born to be alive.
And I want to say hello to people in Miami. I want to turn this over to Alonzo. Is Alonzo or Zoe?
I have great respect for Pat Riley.
There's mixed emotions. I just hope we can get a win and they can still make the playoffs.
We won a championship. They're just in our way, so we're going to go ahead and take appropriate action.
This is NBA Showtime. Here's your host, Bob Costas.
And this is the Alamo Dome in San Antonio as the top two teams in the West, the Spurs and Sonics, meet for the final time in the regular season. Our regional coverage also includes the Knicks and Heat. Pat Riley goes against his former team as Miami battles for the final playoff spot in the East. Hi again, everybody. Bob Costas, Julius Erving, Peter Vesey. We'll get to our games in a moment, but let's start with the two newest members of the Dream Team, rounding out the squad that will represent the United States at the Olympics in Atlanta. The official word came from the president of USA Basketball, C.M. Newton.
The announcement officially is that Mitch Richmond, the Sacramento Kings, and Charles Barkley, the Phoenix Suns, are the final two selections for our men's Olympic basketball team that will play in Atlanta this summer. And we're delighted to have both of them as members of this team.
Now, they've both been Olympians before. Richmond is obviously a great player in the prime of his career. Barkley's a future Hall of Famer, but Barkley is the guy who might raise some eyebrows. What was the thinking behind his selection?
Well, the selection committee and the coaching staff in their recent conference call wanted a shooting guard to round out the team, and certainly Mitch fit that bill extremely well. And they wanted a forward with great versatility, someone who could play both inside and had the ability to go out and shoot off the perimeter against zones in the three-point shot. And Charles Barkley emerged as that person.
Well, despite the fact that Barkley is obviously having another good season, over 23 points per game, his selection is viewed as a surprise because it seemed Barkley wasn't interested, at least initially. Peter Vesey asked him why he changed his mind.
Not often you get to represent your country, and also it's close to my hometown, and it's a special event. I'm surprised. I'm very surprised, actually, but it's a great honor, and I think it's something that that's still fun and exciting.
So being close to your hometown, this is a political move then? This is going to help you get votes?
I'm going to give everybody in Alabama tickets, and hopefully they'll vote for me when I run for governor. It's definitely a strategic move on my part.
But why, Charles, I thought you told me earlier this year that you and Michael Jordan both had said that you didn't want to do it. You've done it before. You played with the ultimate dream team. So what changed your mind?
It's exciting. I mean, it's an unbelievable thing. I don't think it can ever recapture what it was the first time, but I mean, come on, to play in the Olympics, I think you got to be crazy to turn that down.
Now, Mitch Richmond's selection was much more anticipated. Richmond, consistently outstanding, ranks right behind Barkley in the NBA in scoring, 23 per game, and we asked him for his reaction.
Very excited. I think I'm going to really enjoy myself going down there playing with some of the best players in the game and trying to win the gold.
Is this your personal trainer there with you?
Yes, this is my little son here. You know, he's having a little fun right now, looking at a little Soul Train.
I understand it's his birthday, right?
Yes, it's his birthday. He's going to have his birthday party later on today.
He's 3 years old today, little Philip?
Yes, 3 years old today.
Does he have an understanding that A, Sacramento is 2 games up on Denver trying to hold on to a playoff spot, and B, his dad is going to Atlanta for the Olympics?
He has no understanding at all. He's just having a good time. He thinks we win every game.
So Philip Richmond spending at least part of his 3rd birthday in the company of Don Cornelius. There are also those who would have liked to have been selected, and Seattle's Sean Kemp and Gary Payton are on that list. Then there's Magic Johnson, who of course originally expressed a desire to play but then changed his mind. We got reaction from both Magic and Sonics coach George Karl.
In the game of politics and marketing and perception and
some other stuff, I'm sure, you know, they lost. And I think I'm sad for them because they've earned it, in my opinion, and hopefully they'll have another opportunity to gain in year 2000.
I think it was a smart move because you need a nice mix of old and young. And when I was saying that before, you had a lot of people saying, "Oh, let the young guys play. Let the young guys. You guys have been, you know, been in it before." But what they don't understand is that the fact that you need them to teach the young guys. You see, and you need a Charles Barkley to keep the locker room loose, to keep the team loose, to keep them focused. And I'm just happy. It was a good decision.
So it's Barkley and it's Richmond. Agree or disagree?
Well, I agree. I think it's an excellent decision. Mitch is a perfect fit, and Charles also is a perfect fit because you're going to play against international competition that is very physical. They have a lot of 3- and 4-time Olympians on their team. They're going to try the intimidation factor if we have 2 younger teams. So having a physical force like Charles who can score a rebound and play the transition game, plus having the experience of having played in Barcelona and dealing with all the on-the-court and off-the-court issues makes him a great ambassador.
All true, but Pete, you could argue this, that the composition of the team really doesn't matter that much strategically because the gold medal's a foregone conclusion. So selection is more recognition, career achievement type thing. So on that basis, do you have any agreement or disagreement?
Well, also, Charles is having a great season. It's not like he's not. It's not like they gave it to him on a Lifetime Achievement Award. I would have liked to have seen Shawn Kemp make it. I think he made a drastic mistake by missing that plane last week right before the Olympic Committee is about to vote. But an endorsement for Shawn Kemp, I don't want that to seem like it's an indictment against Charles Barkley. I think both guys that made it definitely deserve it.
On the other hand, you look at a guy like Mitch Richmond, he'll be 31 years old when the Olympics start. Guys who are left off like Jason Kidd or Gary Payton at the guard position will certainly have a chance again in the year 2000. Let's turn to this afternoon's game, starting with Seattle at San Antonio. 2 years ago, Seattle had the best record in the league, while last year San Antonio had the best mark, but neither made it to the finals. This year, they're the top 2 teams in the West and no doubt feeling some pressure to extend to the final round. Tom Hammond and Steve Jones join us from the Alamo Dome.
All right, Bob, and one of these teams will have reason to celebrate today. Seattle wins. They clinch the best record in the West, home court throughout the conference playoffs. A San Antonio victory gives them the Midwest Division title and locks them into the 2nd spot. Now, earlier this season, when the 2 teams played in Seattle, model citizen David Robinson was ejected from the game for allegedly throwing a punch, just a sign that he feels time is running short for him.
I think it's partially, you know, for me, you know, I think I'm getting to a point in my career where I understand that my time is limited. You know, I can't play forever. You know, when you're young, you just feel like, well, next year, next year, next year. But now I see that this year is very valuable, and I think we actually have a team that we can win with. So I think when I get out there on the floor and I see bad calls, things happening, you definitely are seeing more emotion and more response from me this year.
It's taken 7 years for David Robinson to be one of those players that eats, sleeps, and drinks winning, and all he thinks about now is a championship. If you take a look at his numbers, you can almost take them for granted because they're almost identical to what they were a year ago when he was the MVP. But his passionate appeal about the game has made him a different player and makes everyone fear that perhaps the time is now for the San Antonio Spurs to reach the top of the mountain, Tom.
In other words, he loves this game. We always try, Bob, to work in the NBA slogan.
Stern and Company. And Tom and Steve will check with you later. You may recall that in the first meeting of the year between the Spurs and the Sonics, there were heated words between the coaches, Bob Hill and George Karl. Those of you in the eastern part of the country will see the Knicks and Heat from Miami. Plenty of playoff implications in this one. And with more on that, off to Marv and Matt. Marvelous.
All right, Bob, and today's game is all about playoff positioning as we approach the final week of the regular season. It is a scramble in the Eastern Conference race. The Knicks in the number 4 slot, 3 games behind Indiana, only 1 game in front of Cleveland, a game and a half over Detroit and 2 over Atlanta, while Miami is tied with Charlotte for the 8th and final playoff spot. Red-hot Washington, only 1 game back. And for Miami coach Pat Riley, it is an unusual scenario, battling just to make the playoffs.
I don't feel any different at all fighting for the 8th spot as I did for the #1 seed. The emotions are the same, you know, the practices are the same, the thoughts are the same, and I think what it comes down to is the opportunity to get a chance, you know, a chance. I don't care if it's the Bulls or Orlando, whoever you play in that first round, you're going to get a chance to do something, and I think that's what's important.
We want to make it to the playoffs, and when we get to the playoffs, we'll see what we're going to do. But it's important that we make it to the playoffs because I think that'll lift everybody's spirits, not only ours, but Pat Riley's.
Matt, do you see Miami making it?
Well, Marv, they should, because Miami put themselves in the driver's seat with a 116-95 gut-check win at Charlotte on Wednesday. But here are the schedules for the 3 teams battling for 8th place. Now, if there's a 3-way tie, including Washington, the Charlotte Hornets are in. Not likely. And if Charlotte and the Heat tie, Miami is in by virtue of the better conference record. Now, Miami has the most favorable schedule, and that playoff spot is theirs for the taking.
And the Knicks will be without Charles Oakley for the 2nd straight game because of an eye injury. But Bob, of most importance, this is the scene at rehearsal moments ago.
Oh, my.
Check this out. We are ready for our halftime entertainment. Back to the studio.
Well, in that case, Marv, we will cancel our own halftime show here in New York and just stick with you in Miami. We'll have more on Pat Riley facing his former team a little bit later. Up next, another of Riley's former teams, the Lakers. Well, they were in the news this week, and we'll talk about the Nick Van Exel situation right after these messages. How many saucers was that? 5, 6? Very impressive.
Gravity by Foot Locker. Of all the laws of nature, you are my least favorite.
It's not your fault you exist, but gravity.
You are no friend of mine. You do not belong in my house. Though you show up every morning. I defy you, Gravity. You are not my obstacle.
That grin you see, that's me knowing I will beat you.
If only for an instant. Even if it's just for an instant. Foot Locker, where it all begins and gravity ends.
All your favorite NBA players. 4 new card designs. 5 collectible insert sets. 2 limited edition cards per pack. Fleer NBA basketball. Oh yeah, watch out for hot packs.
When you wear a pro player jacket, it's not just your jacket people notice. It's your attitude. Pro player. Wear the attitude.
Antonio Tarver, defending world champion, widely considered America's top amateur boxer. Terrence Cawthon, nicknamed The Heat. He hopes to turn it up this summer in Atlanta. Lawrence Clave, a 30-year-old super heavyweight with Olympic dreams. It's do or die in this, the final trial. The U.S. Olympic box-offs next Saturday on NBC.
Paris was the setting this week as the European Club Championships were settled. The Greek team, Panathinaikos, featuring Dominique Wilkins, was best. Nick had 35 in the semis. Then in the finals against Barcelona, 16 points, 10 rebounds. He was named the tournament MVP. The global commish looking duly impressed as the Greek team took the title in a thrilling finish. Final seconds here. Panathinaikos up 1. They lose the ball. Barcelona heads for the basket, but a great play by Stoyan Vrankovic, the former Celtic, blocking the shot to preserve the victory. Dominique with his first title of any kind. On to the Friday night NBA highlights, and we start with the Bulls looking for win number 68 against the Sixers. Michael Jordan scored 17 of his game-high 23 in the third, then was able to sit out the rest of the way as the Bulls bullied the Sixers by 30. Philly now just 52.5 games back of Chicago in the East. The Magic, without Horace Grant, who was serving a one-game suspension, hosting Indiana. Shaq's arrival at the arena a bit more casual than last Sunday. Meanwhile, Reggie Miller looking like he's in playoff form. He got 15 of his team-high 29 in the third, and he connected 6 times from three-point range. So, despite 33 points from Shaq, the Pacers win in Orlando for the first time in nearly 2 years. Their next meeting likely to be in the second round of the playoffs. Milwaukee at Atlanta. The Hawks blew a huge lead for the third straight game, but down the stretch, Craig Elo delivered a big 3, and the Hawks, who led the Bucks by as many as 19, pulled on to win by 7, breaking a 2-game slide. The Bullets, without the firm of Weber, Wallace, Price, Murasan, and Pack, all injured, still beat the T-Wolves. Juwan Howard led everybody with 26. He also pulled down 10 boards. The Bullets, soon to be known as the Wizards, win their 6th straight. With 5 games left in the regular season, Washington has tightened the race for the 8th playoff spot in the East. The prize for the winner, a first-round playoff matchup with the Bulls. 2 teams not headed to the playoffs, Toronto and Boston. Dana Barros popped for 24 points, leading the Celtics to their highest point total of the season. A.C. Earl had a career-high 40 in a losing effort for the Raptors. Vancouver came back from an 8-point deficit against the Kings late in the fourth quarter. Blue Edwards hits from 20 feet in the final minute, capping a 9-point run and giving the Grizzlies a 1-point lead. The Kings got the ball back 3 times after that, but couldn't score. The Grizzlies win just their 13th game of the season. Lakers hosting the Warriors. Golden State with a chance to close some ground on the Kings. It was tied after 3 quarters, but Anthony Peeler sparked L.A. with 12 of his 16 in the fourth. Lakers win their 2nd straight without Nick Van Exel. So, right now, the Kings lead the Warriors by a game and a half and the Nuggets by 2 in the battle for the 8th and final playoff spot out west. Okay, meanwhile, a bad week for the Lakers and point guard Nick Van Exel. Tuesday night in Denver, Van Exel snapped after being assessed a pair of technical fouls by referee Ronnie Garretson. Van Exel had turned away, but then became enraged, charged Garrison, and shoved him into the scorer's table. The result was a 7-game suspension, ending Van Exel's regular season in lost salary and fines. The incident cost him $187,000.
Behind the scenes is, me and him has been going at it for 3 years. But, I could have walked away. I could have just solved the whole thing by just walking away, but I didn't. I let my emotions get the best of me, and I'm paying for it, But I'm not really worried about the fine because Magic said I can work in his theaters over the weekend, so I think I'll be fine.
He's going to have to learn from this, as well as other young players going to have to, will learn from him doing this. It just sends a bad message. It's bad, and I want him to know that.
I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed personally, and I was embarrassed for our franchise. These are things that are simply not condonable, and the league is going to have to do something about it.
I'm probably a marked guy, but I just learned, hopefully, try to keep my mouth shut and just play ball.
Players constantly complaining to officials. It's simply an excuse, period. So our officials are not perfect. These players are not perfect either.
What a season. I've been through more in 1 year than I have in 11, 12 years with my other squad. I should have stayed retired, I guess.
Well, Van Exel gets 7 games, which happened to be the number of games the Lakers had remaining in the regular season. Pete, was that enough?
No, I don't think it was. You talk about 7 meaningless games because the Lakers are locked into that 4th spot, so it really hasn't hurt the club. Certainly it hurt Nick Van Exel's pocketbook. I think if Rod Thorne really wanted to emphasize to everybody in the league, all the players, that they can't go after a referee, he would have given Van Exel 1 playoff game. Losing Nick in a 5-game series for 1 game might be the difference between winning and losing that series.
Nobody in any way is trying to mitigate what the seriousness of what Van Exel did here. But as a general statement, I mean, you've been through it all your years in the league. You must have been provoked at one time or another. If a player feels, for good reason or bad, that he's been provoked, he still can't cross that line.
Oh, there's no question about it, Bob. It's something that can't be condoned, and it's not, and it hasn't been condoned. But every player in basketball at one time or another, wants to go after a referee. It's just something that, can't be acted out. And that's why you have all these other guys on the sidelines, the teammates, the coaches, and the trainers. The teams that are really good, the teams that are really championship caliber teams, if a guy gets that first tech, somebody makes sure that he doesn't get the second tech. And if he gets the second tech, he gets escorted off the court. And, by the way, somebody should escort the referee to the other end of the court like they do in the boxing ring.
Well, up next, the Knicks talk about their former coach, Pat Riley, of course, who brought them to the brink of a championship and faces them today in a key game in Miami. We'll be back.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You know he's not perfect, but on certain days in his life, he has been. The night he poured in 63 points. The day he found Dwight Clark in the end zone. His relentless pursuit of the streak. And you wish at some point, at some moment in your life, that you could be that perfect too. And that's why you cheer for him. That's why you believe in heroes.
The NBA is at your fingertips at NBA.com. You have the computer, you've accessed the internet, now log on to NBA.com for all you want to know about the NBA. 24 hours a day, you can check out game schedules, plus player stats and stories from around the league. That's any team, anytime. And NBA on the Air tells you where to tune in for all the action. NBA.com. Log on and get connected to the NBA.
If it fits a little better, if it holds up a little longer, if it feels a little more comfortable, don't be surprised. We've had a little practice. It takes a little more to make a champion.
1.8 seconds remaining. Lob comes into Tony. Look out, it's on line. Yeah! Bulls win!
There goes Sampson underneath. Sampson going underneath. It goes to Sampson. He puts it in.
Oh, yeah! Yeah! Ewing, the spin move for the win. Yes! With 1.8 left! Goodness gracious!
Do you believe what you just saw?
Oh! They're on their feet and they love it! Welcome to the playoffs!
It could get just a tiny bit testy when host Steve Forbes meets the other Steve Forbes. You heard right. Steve Forbes is hosting Saturday Night Live this week. Steve, make my check out to cash.
Well, there's no question that Patrick Ewing enjoyed Pat Riley's tenure in New York, but a club that was a title contender under Riley now seems to be a middle-of-the-pack team. In addition to being an important game for playoff position, the Knicks and Heat today has plenty of intrigue because of Pat Riley. The man who brought New York its greatest success really in the last 2 decades now faces his former protege Jeff Van Gundy. Nearly a year after he left, the Knick veterans haven't forgotten about their former taskmaster. In his 4 years in New York, Pat Riley brought the Knicks to the brink of the championship. Then he walked out of Madison Square Garden, only to return 8 months later as president and head coach of the Miami Heat. In a unique acknowledgement, Riley invited the Knick faithful to vent in his direction. However, to this day, most Knick players still hold Riley in high regard.
I don't see why a guy that wins 50 games should be criticized the way he's been criticized. Coach Riley did a lot for this city as far as preparing a basketball team to go out and not become complacent as a basketball team. I think that's his biggest asset, and I respect the guy totally. We have a great relationship.
You make sure that you keep this game on your mind at all times. Make sure that you go out there and perform to your best, you know, night in and night out. And as a player, you can respect a man like that. You know, he's in there to win.
The thing that I know, I think, better than most is what outstanding character he has. He's a man of great loyalty and integrity, dignity. I think he's great for the profession of coaching, and I really learned a lot from him in all those areas, and I think he's one of the best coaches in team sport history. I think he'll go down that way, and I really feel that he gave New York 4 great years of all-out effort, and I was sorry to see that it ended so bitterly.
Knicks head coach Jeff Van Gundy learned the coaching profession from Pat Riley. Today, the student matches wits with his mentor for the first time. Van Gundy is mindful of friendship, and in this case, kinship as well.
It's not just Coach Riley there, it's my brother being there, and that may even be more difficult. But I think, thankfully, the game doesn't come down to coaching because we're at a huge disadvantage there. So, you know, thank God it comes down to the players on the floor.
When you face somebody that you've idoled and that you've worked under for a long period of time, I think you want nothing more than to defeat them. As much respect as you have for them, you definitely want to go out and try and knock them down. Jeff looks up to Pat. You know, Pat has taught him a lot, and, you know, we run a lot of the same things, and we're going to be coming down calling the same plays. It's like we're going against each other in practice.
These two teams haven't met since well before Riley revamped the Heat with several big deals. Now, in a game with playoff implications on both sides, the Knicks could deal their old coach a crucial defeat this afternoon.
You know, and naturally, I want to beat them. You know, because we have, you know, we're trying to get ourselves ready for the playoffs also. But in a way, I would love for them to make it, you know, because of Pat and also Alonzo. I think Charlotte was crazy for letting Alonzo get away, and I want him to make it. As much as I respect and admire Coach Riley, I definitely want our basketball team to knock him down, because this is what it's all about. He'll have his team pumped up because he knows that it's a huge game for him, and I think we'll definitely be ready to play against Coach Riley Saturday.
Pat Riley wasn't heard from directly in that piece. These days, he won't address the circumstances surrounding his departure from the Knicks. Won't do it on camera. He's preferring to concentrate on the Heat now and in the future.
Right, Bob, we know there were many reasons for Pat Riley's departure down in Miami. They gave him part ownership of the Heat. He got the power that the Knicks wouldn't give him. But, of course, one of the major reasons is that he saw that the Knicks were no longer a championship team. Smart move, Pat.
Well, they're in the middle of the pack, 4th in the East, just a game ahead of Cleveland, which is 5th, only 2 ahead of Atlanta, which presently occupies the 7th slot. So in light of those circumstances, something Patrick Ewing said on that piece made your ears perk up. It might have been innocent, but you took it a little bit differently, right?
I definitely did. I can't believe that Patrick says that he hopes the Heat make the playoffs. I mean, this is the team that they're playing today. If they make it at the expense of the Knicks, a team that needs every win that they can get. And I know how much Patrick loves his old coach, and his protege, Alonzo Mourning, like to see him do well. But if I'm Patrick's teammate, I couldn't tolerate having that as part of the conversation, not on the record.
A little known fact about well-known people. You know, we know this is typical Pat Riley, but he forbid Alonzo Mourning to talk to Patrick Ewing during this season. Does not want that friendship to interfere with the competitiveness.
Yeah, that is prototypically Pat Riley. Closing in on the tip-offs now. Important game in Miami for both the Knicks and the Heat, obviously, in the Eastern Conference playoff scramble. And many of you will see the best in the West, Seattle and San Antonio. The NBA on NBC continues after these messages from your local station.
Sunday, an intergalactic event. Travel to the far reaches of the galaxy.
I shall blow you out of the stars. Fire.
For the final voyage of the Starship Enterprise.
We surrender.
Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, NBC Sunday.
The San Antonio Spurs and the Seattle Supersonics are two of the most successful teams of the 90s in the regular season. Since 1992, no team has won more often than Seattle. Yet the memory of these victories has receded into the black abyss created by 2 unforgettable first-round playoff collapses. 2 years ago, it was the Denver Nuggets in a stunning upset. Last season, a now familiar scene as the Lakers sent the Sonics home early again. If the Sonics collapsed with a boom, the Spurs have quietly faded from the Western postseason picture. Sometimes it was the first round. Some years, the second. And last year, all the way to the conference finals. But the result has always been the same. Once again this season, each team has proven a formidable regular season foe. But true respect only comes in the playoffs.
This is the NBA on NBC.
Warm spring afternoon in San Antonio. The NBA playoffs now less than 2 weeks away. And inside the Alamo Dome, postseason atmosphere for a game matching the two best teams in the West, Seattle and San Antonio. Seattle victory today gives them the overall best record in the Western Conference and means they will be at home throughout the conference playoffs. San Antonio wins, they claim the Midwest Division title, and they will be locked in to the second spot in the Western Conference playoffs. Hello, everyone. Welcome to San Antonio. Tom Hammond and Steve Snapper Jones. You know the story of Seattle the last two seasons. Great regular season record, playoff swoon. But yesterday, head coach George Karl told us this is a different Seattle team.
If you're around us, you know that we're enjoying this. And 2 years ago, we were, I think, emotionally a little bit out of control. Last year, we didn't have a spirit. This is my best basketball team since I've been in Seattle. Why? I think we've made some good decisions. I think defensively we're better. And I think the character of this team is together, and the chemistry of this team is to win.
Steve, I think they're looking forward to the playoffs this season, and today looking to send a message to one of their chief rivals.
No question, Tom, and the message is no stopping us now. Last week they played the Sacramento Kings, the team that sits in the 8th spot right now, and they torched them. And they want everyone to know there's going to be no first-round loss. Should they meet the #2 team, which would be the San Antonio Spurs in the Western Conference Final, they can take them down as well. The Sonics feel that this is a special season for them indeed.
Wasn't too long ago that San Antonio had that 17-game winning streak. And the Spurs players know that on the same team with David Robinson, you'll sometime get overlooked in publicity. That's the case of their backcourt.
It is. David Robinson is the soul of this team, but the guys that are the glue are in the backcourt, Vinny Del Negro and Avery Johnson. Their numbers, they don't frighten you, but the one thing they do is take care of the ball. They lead the league in turnover ratio assists, so they are a formidable backcourt for anyone.
Avery Johnson, who's from New Orleans, said he and Vinny are just like red beans and rice. Well, there was some disappointment around here as the last two members of the Dream Team were announced this weekend. And for more on that, let's go to Hannah Storm.
Well, Tom, both coaching staffs here are very disappointed at the omissions of Sean Elliott and Gary Payton, but clearly the most glaring one is Shawn Kemp. Kemp is refusing to talk about the Dream Team until after the game today, but his teammates say that he's trying to put the best spin on the matter, that he was even joking a little bit about his omission yesterday during practice, and that he was very intense and focused for today's game. Clearly, though, it has affected head coach George Karl. He's had a headache for 2 days about this. He thinks the selection process is unfair, and that it's the Sonics' image more than anything else, which has kept Kemp off of the Dream Team. When I asked him about Kemp's image and the fact that Kemp missed yet another team flight last weekend on the way to Portland, he insists that Kemp is more mature and that was evidenced by the fact that he took it upon himself to be accountable for his actions and apologize to his teammates. But the bottom line, according to George Karl, Charles Barkley is still more marketable than Shawn Kemp. Tom?
All right, Hannah, maybe another motivating tool for Seattle. The Sonics have the fastest gun in the West, but the Spurs look to defend the Alamo Dome.
Way out there, there's hops. Without hops, beer wouldn't taste as good as it does. Take the best part of the hops, the beer's gonna taste even better. We found a way now makes it possible to brew beer straight from the heart of the hops. For a beer with heart that goes down easy. We think so much of this new beer, we're just calling it who we are. Miller, always new possibilities. Gotta reach for what's out there.
It's our opinion at Acura that a luxury car should be quiet. It should cradle its occupants in astonishingly soft leather and burled walnut. And with a 3.5-liter power plant, it should be anything but a Sunday drive in the park. Introducing the Acura RL, the new flagship from Acura.
Jesse, you're next.
I'm all yours.
Save it for the stage, Romeo.
Carol always gives it to me straight. Like when she told me about my...
I told him about Head & Shoulders. Regular shampoos just rinse flakes away so they could come back. Head & Shoulders helps prevent flakes from even forming. You see the difference? You look great.
Thanks, but will it get me this part?
Couldn't hurt.
Head & Shoulders, because great hair can't have flakes.
Hey, break a leg.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by New Miller Beer, brewed from the heart of the hops for a beer with heart that goes down easy. by Acura, who invite you to test drive the new flagship of Acura, the RL. And by Pizza Hut, home of the all-new triple-decker pizza. Have one delivered today.
Not far from Riverwalk here at the Alamo Dome. Let's look at the starting lineups for today's game. The visiting Sonics will go in the backcourt with Gary Payton, who leads the NBA in steals, and Hersey Hawkins. Up front for Seattle, Irvin Johnson, 6'11", the starting center. Sean Kemp, 20-a-game leading scorer for Seattle, and the dependable Detlef Schrempf. And the coach of the Sonics, George Karl, has the highest winning percentage ever for a Seattle head coach. San Antonio Spurs will line up this way. That underappreciated backcourt, a good one, Avery Johnson and Vinny Del Negro, best assist-to-turnover ratio in the NBA. David Robinson having another terrific season. Charles Smith back after missing 2 games with back spasms, and Sean Elliott having the best season of his career. And the coach, Bob Hill, who was NBA Coach of the Month for March, a month in which the Spurs went 16-0. Sean Kemp saying that he will address the snub by the Dream Team with the media after the game, but as we have heard in NBA Showtime and on our report from Hannah, George Karl was very outspoken in his criticism of the selection committee for not taking Sean Kemp and Gary Payton.
It's a very tough process, and no one really knows what the criteria are. And if you're a player and you want to be there, you don't know what to do. And if deportment is one of the things, they ought to say that right up front.
And, of course, the Spurs thought Sean Elliott should have been on the team. And as we talked to him, he said, well, it didn't surprise him. They already were 3 small forwards. He expected not to make the team.
But you and I could play on the team, and we'd still win the gold medal.
Spurs like to talk about the excellent chemistry on this team with the departure of Dennis Rodman, but George Karl was telling us he likes the chemistry on his Seattle team best ever, chiefly due to the addition of Hersey Hawkins.
Let's see how the Hawk plays. Hersey Hawkins is a player that if he gets off to a good start at the offensive end, they really try to go to him, and if not, he just tries to take the shots when they're there.
There is Hawkins, double-teamed. Robinson came to help. Payton fires from outside, and Robinson clears the board.
Tom, the story of this game has been turnovers, and in the games that Seattle has won, they have forced the Spurs into a ton of mistakes, and I'm sure that Bob Hill is concerned about that. Charles Smith, he'll go to the line. Irvin Johnson coming down to make the block.
First foul of the game, Irvin Johnson of Seattle.
They got a great entry pass into Charles Smith, and if there's one thing you'd like to see Charles Smith improve on, it's being that close to the basket and finishing plays. No one will forget what happened to him in the Chicago series as a Knick. Last week, he blocked his own dunk shot, so he's got to get better at being close at the rim.
See what he's done for the Spurs. More minutes, more points, more rebounds, and Spur coaches and players are unanimous in their belief that he has been the missing ingredient for this team.
Well, he is a natural power forward, and with New York, he was playing out of position. So this gives him a chance to really play within his own comfort zone. That's why the big improvement.
Detlef Schrempf with the first field goal of the game, and the Sonics take the lead. Elliott just fumbled it away out of bounds. Spurs turn it over. Seattle in a hurry.
Both of these teams like the open court in the transition. They would like to get up and down as quick as they can. They call a foul. This one against David Robinson. He's shocked.
Bob Hill and the Spurs players and fans all wanted to travel. They have a point. Kemp against Smith. Jump stop, fed it off. Find the open man. It's Payton for three. Out of bounds to San Antonio.
Payton wasn't nearly as sharp in his pregame shooting as Sean Kemp was. We watched Sean Kemp for about 10 minutes, and he didn't miss a shot, and we'll find out whether he has a jump shot left or he shot himself out. Payton, on the other hand, is kind of a sporadic perimeter player anyway, so you're not surprised when he misses.
Kemp wore assistant coach Dwayne Casey out. Elliott rejected by Kemp. Shrimp saves it to Hawkins. Johnson fall away. A rainbow shot comes out. Johnson leads the break. Del Negro tried a touch pass. Bounces off of Sonic and out of bounds.
Irvin Johnson is a guy that comes from the rear and makes the block. Kemp is guarding Sean Elliott. Johnson comes out, gets it started the other way. You know, Detlef Schrempf is a broken nose, and wouldn't you know the ball would find a way to hit his nose on that pitch from Del Negro.
Del Negro had a foot on the line. That's a long-range two, his first bucket. Spurs regain the lead. 10 minutes left, opening quarter.
Schrempf looks like he's bleeding. He had 3 stitches in that broken nose, had him taken out, and that's the reason for the Band-Aid. But he got hit pretty good the first time around. Here comes a 20-second timeout for Detlef Schrempf.
There you see the bandage over the stitches in that nose. Has to be painful. Hannah Storm, did Detlef take a deflected ball right in the nose?
Well, actually, the nose isn't broken. He hurt it in the Phoenix game a week ago Friday, and he has a pretty bad laceration and bruise on that nose. And during a shoot-around, he got hit in the face with a ball before the game, so it was quite painful, and he had already aggravated it just before the game. As you can see, it's bleeding, and he's trying to get it to stop bleeding before he goes back in, Tom.
And Detlef Schrempf said, Vinny, why you want to get cute now? Right. And this is how it is with injuries. When you're hurt, and 99 times out of 100, that ball comes nowhere near his nose, and the first play out, he gets bounced.
You know, if it wasn't broken then, maybe it is now. Kemp misses the outside shot, the kind he was nailing without missing in the warm-up. And a loose ball foul called. It's on Sean Elliott, his first.
Problem for Sean Elliott. Detlef Schrempf is a bigger guy and can post him up, and Sean Elliott's been getting in foul trouble here over the last week early and not been able to get the benefit of his ability in the game.
Schrempf missed the shot as Elliott ran at him, forced him to change it a little bit. There you see cold shooting by Seattle to start the game. San Antonio's only gotten 2 shots.
This is what they like to do. Move the ball, one more pass, get Vinny Del Negro spotted up. Back-to-back hoops for Del Negro.
Vinny has 4 of the Spurs' 5 points. Made a good ball fake to get open that time. Payton backing in against Johnson. Kemp off a nice screen. Smith challenged the shot and got him on the arm. Charles Smith with his first foul.
One of the ways to keep Sean Kemp from working so hard and playing within himself is to bring him to the ball, and that's the play that they set up the last time where they screened across and he was able to catch it without having to work real hard. Charles Smith actually bailed him out. That shot was from behind the glass.
And then Sean misses the free throw. And there you see that this season is best scoring season and best rebounding season. He was an all-star for the 4th consecutive time, and the last 3 years as an all-star starter for the West.
Sean Kemp told us yesterday that he lost weight to be quicker, to be stronger at the end of games, and he thinks it's really helped him out. It's helped him mentally more than it has physically.
Del Negro's had the hot hand, misses that 3. Elliott can't track it down. It'll go to Seattle.
If you're going to get Seattle and have them struggle, it will be keeping them in a half-court game. This is a team, by its own admission, that's not crazy about playing half-court basketball. They don't make the best decision, and a lot of times they end up working against the clock and making bad passes. 7 on the shot clock.
Schrempf open 3, rimmed out and rebounded by Robinson. From the ball, Charles Smith has been whistled for his 2nd foul. You heard him say, no, no.
The cries will tell you he thought he was okay running right down the middle of the floor against Irvin Johnson, and he didn't really get a chance to set the screen, and Detlef Schrempf did a good job of grabbing him to look like he hit him.
Kemp nearly lost it, finally does.
But Charles Smith is going to have to sit. He's been hit with a couple of quick fouls. That means Chuck Person is going to come into the game. So, you know, he's not happy about going out this early in the game. No chance to get a feel for it. The Sonics not real sharp here in the half court in the first 4 minutes of this.
So Chuck Person, the rifleman, is in. 1,036 three-point field goals, third all-time in the NBA. Pick and roll to Robinson. Fouled by Kemp.
Sean Kemp gets more of his fouls guarding somebody else's man than he has his own. There's another example of Sean Kemp coming to help. Drops down and meets David Robinson at the basket. I think Robinson thought it was going to be a throwdown, but Kemp was up high. He had to make an adjustment.
Less is more for Davidson this season, or for Robinson this season, as you see, 36.9 fewer minutes than his MVP season of a year ago. Second free throw rims
The
out.
significance of this is that they have better people, so he doesn't have to play as much.
Kemp working his way inside, nowhere to go, had to send it back out. Payton with a no-look to Shrift. Nice cut by Johnson, and he does throw it down. Beautifully done on the half court by Seattle.
That was nice execution and a real strong effort by Irvin Johnson, who in the past wouldn't have come that strong.
Made a quick move to the basket and then is knocked hard to the floor. I think you see him saying, "I'm all right," as he comes up. And Sean Kemp has just picked up his second foul.
Movement to the basketball will always create something good for you. And Irvin Johnson comes strong and with power with two hands to throw it down on the Admiral. Sean Elliott really took a tough fall, and we're going to take a break and find out whether he's okay.
2 fouls on Kemp.
NBA.com. Log on and get connected to the NBA.
Introducing the Acura RL, the new flagship from Acura. It's built on the idea that luxury doesn't have to be boring, an idea that we thought might appeal to some of you.
New triple-decker pizza from Pizza Hut. 6 cheeses, 2 crusts, and 1 hellacious taste.
Hello from fabulous Plank Road Field, where the Plank Road 10 has just chalked up another impressive win, and our coach, Paul, is ready to give his victory speech. Now this is watered down. And this isn't. Ice House. It's ice brewed, so there's never any watered down taste, just more of what you want in a beer. So remember, winning isn't everything, but Ice House is. Thanks, and enjoy.
Welcome back to San Antonio. You're looking at Charles Smith, who's been an excellent addition for the Spurs on the court. But Sean Elliott told us he's had an impact in other ways, too.
One day in Oakland, he had come over in the morning to get toothpaste, and I left my door open, and I was in the shower. Mistake. You know, I come out of the shower, and my mattress was it was just thrown like up against the side of the wall, and the dresser drawer was moved out. When I came out, my first thing I looked, I said, "I've been robbed." I left the door open. I've been robbed. I started looking around, and all my stuff was there. So then I knew somebody got me. And for about 3 or 4 days, I was asking the guys, "Did you do it? Did you do it?" And nobody would say. And then finally, he told me, I said, "Guy's been on the team for 3 or 4 days, and he's already pulling jokes."
Charles Smith, as Sean Elliott misses the free throw. He's okay after that dangerous fall. And Does the team need a guy like that?
Every team needs someone that's going to keep them loose, keep them from not taking themselves too seriously, taking a big game like today seriously, and just coming out and playing. And certainly one of the things he feels good about, he was in prison in New York. Nobody appreciated him there, and so he's got a lot of pranks in him.
Well, the jailbreak has been good for he and for the Spurs. Sam Perkins into the game here for Seattle. Shrimp, wide open three, goes down. Detlef Shrimp with his 5th point of the game.
Sean Elliott has the assignment of guarding Detlef Shrimp, but on a couple of occasions he's been sucked back into the hole, and Shrimp has been wide open.
Penetration by Hawkins. Nice dish. And it gets down for Irvin Johnson on the roll. Irvin has 4. Sonics looking good in the half court here. They have a 3-point lead. Person for 3. That ties it up. For Chuck Person, 1,037 trades.
There's a turnover as Gary Payton was trying to cut, but if you're going to get the Sonics, that's when they're going to make a mistake. George Karl is saying, I posted you up. That's a good idea, but go to work on Sean Elliott.
San Antonio's turned it over 3 times. That was the 2nd by Seattle.
We need to keep an eye on Sean Elliott. He's walking with a little bit of limp right now, and if he cools off, that may be it for him.
Oh, Robinson over Johnson and 1. Avery Johnson made it happen.
David Robinson has said to his teammates, I will take care of all of the big game pressure and make the big plays for you, but somebody else has got to get into the game. Bob Hill likes that one. He'll like it better if Robinson makes that free throw.
Which he does. The Admiral now has 4. And it's a 13-10 Spurs lead. Sean Elliott still a little gimpy as he tries to chase Detlef Shrimp. 4 to shoot. Shrimp does. A 3-pointer, no good. Hit the shot clock out of bounds. It'll go to San Antonio, and Sean Elliott is limping over to the bench.
He's in bad shape. He's not going to be able to stay out there much longer.
Doc Rivers is in to replace him. Five and a half minutes left in the first quarter. Avery Johnson is fouled as he takes it to the rim. It'll be on Sam Perkins, his first.
We'll get another look at Sean Elliott going down and on a real tough play, and you can feel the pain.
He immediately came back after a timeout to shoot the free throws, but then the next trip down the court was limping noticeably. And see what a contribution he has made to this team. Another one who perhaps is eclipsed in nationwide publicity by the brilliance of David Robinson. But the people around here, the coaching staff, the other players know that Sean Elliott is a real contributor.
That's Perkins' shot. George Karl loves to have him out on the perimeter, but when you miss, this is what happens to you. A good push by Avery Johnson, but no finish.
Chuck Person broke up that pass, and the Spurs have a steal. Numbers, San Antonio. Johnson after the fake to lay it in. San Antonio has scored 10 in a row. Avery Johnson.
San Antonio wants to keep offensive pressure on the defense, and Avery Johnson showing, yes, left-handers do have right hands. Got Shrimp turned around, laid it in. They posted him up the last time, and Gary Payton was not happy to see David Robinson come down on the double team. They got a foul against Avery Johnson.
San Antonio's gone on this run with the absence of Kemp, who left the game with 2 fouls. Perkins. runner for Sam Perkins.
Big smooth, just glides across the lane, but San Antonio's got a small team out there, and Seattle's trying to take advantage of their side.
Fade away by the Admiral. Spurs by 7.
They got Doc Rivers guarding Detlef Schrempf, and Doc Rivers not only kicked Schrempf, but also pulled him down.
And there was no one there to receive the pass as Schrempf was on his backside. So George Karl very stoic there, but
and watch Doc Rivers. Yeah, yank him down, give him a little knee on the way, and then he fell on his own.
Less than 4 minutes to play first quarter. Spurs with the ball leading 19-12. It's a 12-2 run. Robinson muscles it through. Hawkins for 3, won't go. And Williams the rebound. Monty Williams collared that one with one hand. Avery Johnson had it blocked and picked off by Hawkins. Payton fouled by Rivers at midcourt. Let's go to Hannah Storm for a report on the injury to Sean Elliott. Hannah?
Well, actually, Tom, even though he is in quite a bit of pain, Sean Elliott's planning on coming back in this game. What's happened is he's hurt his lower back on the left side during that fall. But after a long discussion with the team trainer and doctor, he's decided to get back in the game, try to run up and down the court a bit. And if it doesn't work out, well, he'll go back in the locker room and check it out. Tom?
All right, timeout. We'll return to San Antonio in a moment.
Budweiser.
All right, we're jamming. I wanna jam it with you. We're jamming, and I hope you like jamming too.
What do you get when you cross a high-quality conventional motor oil with an advanced formula synthetic? A revolutionary oil that protects better than regular oils, yet costs less than full synthetics. DuraBlend from Valvoline. Valvoline's the #1 choice of top mechanics.
And on that day, a team of men was assembled to battle the forces of evil. Au revoir.
McDonald's invites you to play the Disney Video Masterpiece Collection Trivia Challenge. Just pick the right answer and win one of 300 million prizes. Come play today at McDonald's.
The new Civic from Honda. More powerful, more refined, more responsive. And yes, it's bigger.
Sunday, history's in the making when Jordan and the Bulls go for win number 69. Then Barkley and the Suns meet Magic and the Lakers. An NBA on NBC doubleheader Sunday.
Sean Elliott, sore back and all, set to return to the game. The Spurs have outscored the Sonics 14-6 since Sean Kemp left the game with his second personal foul.
He is still warm, and we'll find out whether he improves or he gets another shot and stiffens up again. But when Kemp went out, the Spurs went on a run, and now it's up to the Sonics to try to come back, pressure the ball, force him into mistakes. We'll see if Gary Payton, Vincent Askew's in the game along with Hawkins start doing that.
San Antonio blistering the Nets early. They've hit 7 of their first 10 shots. Only 36% shooting by Seattle. And Elliott is getting no mercy from the Sonics as he's whacked pretty good.
Askew's got a tough job. If you're talking hand check, well, he's hand checking them all the way, and then just to add a little measure to it, upside the head.
Vincent Askew assessed his first foul as Elliott hits the free throw.
Sean Elliott made a commitment to be able to stand up and take the pressure of being the second option for the San Antonio Spurs, and this season he's improved. He's not counted on nearly as much in the second half of the season as he was earlier. They've gotten a better balanced attack.
Frank Brickowski into the game for Seattle, drawing a few scattered boos here. He was involved in an altercation with David Robinson in Seattle in November, in which the Admiral and Coach Bob Hill were ejected from the game, and Brickowski was muscling him the entire time.
Avery Johnson picks up a foul reaching in on Sam Perkins, but with Frank Brickowski, his job is to be the muscle. What do you call him in hockey? We don't want to call him.
I've always called the enforcer the hatchet man. I don't know what you call him. But
I think they call him goons. We don't want to call him a goon.
Well, I didn't say that now, Steve. Steve Jones. Sam Perkins with a three-point play. The lead is 22-17.
But his job is to keep his body on, hands on, whatever it takes to get David Robinson off his game or make it tough for him to score. And right away, it's more than just a touch.
His reputation precedes him. He one trip down the court, one foul. Frank Brickowski, the Penn State grad, in his 12th NBA season.
One thing can be said about Brickowski. He uses all 6 of his fouls, so he's never been shortchanged in that regard.
Robinson shooting for double figures here. 4 for 4 at the line. Avery Johnson, by the way, that last three-point play by Sam Perkins picked up his second foul.
Now this guy right here has to get into the game. Hersey Hawkins has been entirely too quiet for the first quarter. Brickowski
for 3. Frank Brickowski. 4-point game. Hersey Hawkins has gotten only one shot for the Sonics. Missed it. There's a person in trouble. There's the famous Seattle trap, resulting in a turnover and a conversion as Payton lays it through.
If you hold the ball, Seattle's trap is a very effective one. Person held it too long, finally lost control of it. Payton an easy score.
Seattle leads the league in steals, and Payton leads all individual players in steals. Here's the trap of Johnson. Now Brickowski retreats. Person for 3. And an easy rebound for Gary Payton. Brickowski, another 3. This one back rim into the arms of Avery Johnson.
Avery Johnson, uncharacteristic there, but turned it over, trying to force it. And that quickly, the Sonics are back in the game. They tie it up. Payton on an easy try.
Bob Hill has seen his team surrender the lead. It's 24-all. 7-0 Sonic run. Turnovers key, 6 of them by the Spurs. There's another one on the attempted lob to David Robinson.
Chuck Person trying to get the ball to David Robinson. Now he has no place to go. Payton touches the ball, knocks it out of his hands. Then it's deflected back to Payton, and it's chase, but too late.
There you are, Payton and Hawkins leading the league in steals. At one point, San Antonio had a 9-point lead. They turned it over 3 times in the last minute.
Turnovers killed them in a very close game here earlier in the season, and they've allowed Seattle to get back in the game, and now they're getting themselves into foul trouble, reaching and trying to have a small team out against a big one. They're getting hurt.
Chuck Person's first foul as Sam Perkins went to the hoop, and Charles Smith returns for San Antonio with 43.8 seconds left in the first quarter. Perkins averages a dozen points off the bench for Seattle.
you look at the turnovers, and it tells you the difference between winning and losing and the number of points that the Sonics have been able to get from those turnovers. San Antonio knows they got to take care of the ball against the Sonics.
Perkins off the bench for 7 first-quarter points. And Seattle has its first lead since they were up 10-7 early. El Negro into the Admiral. Blocked by Perkins and then swatted out of bounds by Sam. It'll go back to San Antonio.
With Rakowski pushing and shoving from the rear, that gives Sam Perkins enough time to get over and make a nice block. San Antonio has 11 on the shot clock.
El Negro worked himself open, missed the shot. Sonics could hold for the final shot of the quarter.
Ideally, in this situation, you want to go to the offense. You don't want to be the defender and sit back and let that guy come to you and go where he wants to. They're trying to get a quick shot, 3 on the shot clock, steal Doc Rivers.
Can't get a shot away as the first quarter comes to an end. San Antonio at one time led by 9, but Seattle ends the quarter on a 9-0 run. Despite Sean Kemp in foul trouble, missed much of the first quarter after picking up 2 early fouls, Sam Perkins off the bench picked up the slack, 7 points and a board, and at the end of 1, Seattle leads San Antonio 26-24.
So this is what you do every day, huh? For a baby. Like this. Not like this. It's not so bad. Maybe...
For the man with sensitive skin, Schick introduces the new Tracer FX.
There's the sensitive part? Right here? Good.
With its unique skin guard designed for a smooth shave with less irritation.
Think I'm getting the hang of it.
The shaving system for sensitive skin. Schick Tracer FX.
You guys are so sensitive. What's the big deal?
Let's see. Now available. New communications company with some experience. Invented dial tone, also phone, transistor, laser, cellular. Has won awards, Nobel, etc. Formerly part of AT&T, now Lucent Technologies. We make the things that make communications work.
Format, no favors. We answer to nobody.
They can't be bought. They can't be touched. They can't be stopped.
We go where the case takes us.
Not if it takes you here, you don't.
Nick Nolte, Melanie Griffith, Chaz Palminteri, Michael Madsen, Chris Penn, Treat Williams, Jennifer Connelly, Andrew McCarthy, and John Malkovich.
And the only thing that'll protect you is if I can't find you. And I already found you.
Mulholland Falls, rated R. Starts Friday, April 26th.
When cars raced at an awesome 5 miles per hour, Mobil Oil was there. When a race car broke 100, Mobil was in it. Mobil was in the winner of the first race across America. And since then, Mobil has been in more Indy 500 winners than any other oil in the history of Indy. So if you think that all oils are alike, think about something. At Mobil, we've been changing oil for over 125 years.
This is the NBA on NBC.
Ready to start the second quarter at the Alamo Dome. Even the officials are taking a beating today. The last San Antonio field goal came with a 3:50 left in the quarter. David Robinson hit one to give the Spurs a 9-point lead. It's been all Seattle since then.
Will Perdue gives David Robinson a breather, and that means that Will Perdue is going to take a little pounding while Rakowski is in the game. This group now needs Sean Elliott to step up. Perdue, Smith, Doc Rivers, Vinny Del Negro, and Sean Elliott.
And Charles Smith calls a 20-second timeout, unable to get the ball inbounds.
You heard Doc Rivers say, just give it to Will. That means don't worry about it. Well, then I'll get the ball from him. So now they have got to understand how to inbound the ball.
Hope you'll join us tomorrow for another NBA on NBC doubleheader. First game will match the high-flying Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls, looking for win number 69. And then the Lakers take on Charles Barkley and the Suns. A doubleheader for you tomorrow. Chicago shoots for win number 69 against Cleveland, and Phoenix and the Lakers all starting at 12:30 Eastern Time tomorrow here on NBC. Had it deflected out of bounds by Nate McMillan as the Seattle defense noticeably picking up in the final minutes of that first quarter.
Well, pressure on the ball causes San Antonio to make some hesitant decisions with the ball, and they've got to be aggressive not only in attacking the pressure but passing the ball, cutting to the basket. Doc Rivers trying to make something happen.
And does make it happen with his first basket of the game. Game tied now at 26. An odd first quarter plus snapper in that neither team has an offensive rebound so far. Kemp's fall away, maybe partially blocked. Purdue has the rebound.
That should change with Will Purdue in the game for sure, because he's an offensive rebounding specialist. That's what he does best. Charles Smith to Will Purdue.
Who lays it in. Good interior passing by the Spurs, who regain the lead. Smith checking Kemp. McMillan. And Sean Elliott safely has it for the Spurs. Still no offensive rebound.
Yeah, San Antonio does not get the same push with Doc Rivers is out on the floor. They don't get nearly as many baskets. That means they have to set up. Tough shot to Charles Smith.
Short on his fall away. Payton leads the Sonic break, or Askew leads the Sonic break, I should say. Shoots over Del Negro and hits Vincent Askew in the scoring column. Elliott, one-on-one against Askew, now draws the double team. Rivers open, three-pointer. Purdue kept it alive, and Elliott tracks it down.
Rivers is open for another three, but he doesn't take it. See if he goes one-on-one with Sean Kemp. Kemp has got 2 fouls, trying to get the third on him, but they didn't get inside.
Del Negro rimmed out. Brikowski the board. Kemp and one. Less than 10 minutes left in the half. 2-point game.
Michael and the Bulls face the Cavs. The Magic and the Lakers host Barkley and the Suns Sunday.
Hey, you still got that bullet in you, kid? Damn.
Only the strong survive, only the wise excel. Once said by my born in hell. It's natural.
What does it take to make a winner?
It's gonna be our year.
Kick the game.
On Friday, April 26th, it's time to represent.
It's like butter, baby.
Sunset Park. Rated R. At theaters April 26th.
Are you ready? Let's go. Get out and play. Give whatever you've got. You like that? Gatorade, Gatorade. Drink it up, Gatorade, Gatorade. You're gonna get thirsty. Gatorade, Gatorade. Drink it up. Drink it up. Drink it up, Gatorade, Gatorade. Drink it up, Gatorade. Drink it up. Gatorade. Life is a sport. Tough day. Drink it up.
The job needs 4 guys now, and the guys need all their equipment. You're working harder than ever. You need a truck that does too. Meet the all-new 1997 Ford F-150, the only full-size pickup with a standard Super Cab third door, 60/40 split rear bench, and standard dual airbags, plus a taller cab for more hat and boot room than ever. After all, the guys aren't getting any smaller. The new Ford F-150. Strength after strength after strength.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by the all-new Ford F-150. Strength after strength after strength. By Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth. And by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. You live life, you get thirsty. Life is a sport. Drink it up.
Welcome back to the Alamo City. Gary Payton leads the league in steals, and they're all even at 3 apiece today. It's become something of a tradition in Seattle.
That has been one of the keys to George Karl's team's success, is their ability to force opponents into mistake. Again, they lead the league in steals, and it is a team thing. We've seen the game complexion here change based on a couple of steals when they were able to trap the basketball. But Karl only will go to a small team when his team is a little behind, doesn't have the energy. He says it makes him a little bit more secure because he thinks he can make more things happen.
The Sonics, once again, a terrific regular season, hoping to carry it through to the playoffs. The last 2 seasons knocked out in the first round. Their regular season series with the Spurs, they lead 2-1. This is the final meeting, so they would love to send that message that we can win even in San Antonio.
Now, what this trap has done is force San Antonio to set up and work against the clock. They have to go outside in. Doc Rivers for 3.
And Rivers nails the 3-point shot. He has 5 off the Spur bench. Game tied at 31. Kemp backing in against Purdue, called for a 3-second violation.
If I'm Will Purdue, I start calling 3 as soon as I see him come in the lane, too, because he backed him in way too deep. Purdue never had a chance. Fortunate to get the call.
San Antonio a chance to take the lead.
Trying to set a screen for Del Negro, but they never get the screen set, but he got inside.
Nice hesitation on the dribble. Vinny Del Negro got himself open on the screen from Purdue. Vinny has a half dozen.
San Antonio last week against the Lakers said one of their problems in losing the streak was not defending. Good defensive play by Doc Rivers, a steal by the Sonics.
Yeah, he threw it right back after making the steal, and it results in a Kemp jam on the other end. Sean was 6 points.
Trying to come back again. Pick and roll with Del Negro and Will Purdue. They're leaving the lane open.
Shrimp raises his hand, but the referees will have none of it. It's the 3rd foul on Sean Kemp.
The Rain Man with an easy glider, but what really got him upset right now, again, trying to come over and help. You can't make 40, 11 in that situation. Detlef Shrimp ran out, put his hand up, and said, I got it. And Shrimp said, didn't you see him hit him? And he's still trying to say, I got to get a little game in here.
So 3 fouls on Sean Kemp. Remember, he picked up 2 early, and when he left the game is when San Antonio was able to build a 9-point lead. And Sean once again will go to the bench. Sam Perkins will replace Kemp.
In every big game that Sean Kemp plays, and I know that he said yesterday that this was a big game, he's always thinking about closing down the middle. And every time he gets himself in early foul trouble, so he's got to guard against getting too emotional when the playoffs start.
Askew and Del Negro. And now Will Purdue steps in and shoves Vincent Askew.
Now, Askew takes exception to Purdue getting in his face, but he gave an extra little hip to Vinny Del Negro on the inside. Now, right here, he's got him on his back, and now he throws him down.
Well, Del Negro had a hand around the waist, too.
But he gave him a little bump right at the end, and that's when Will Purdue stepped in. Vinny said, well, I'll push you into it.
And Askew pushed Purdue away. So, sad to say, it's a sign of the times in the NBA these days, and that one deflected out of bounds. Sonics get it back. Double technical fouls called. Askew and Will Purdue. What about Van Exel? He still doesn't get it, judging by his comments in the newspaper I read yesterday. That's amazing.
It is amazing that he doesn't believe that he owes the official an apology. Officials are part of the game. Certainly they are. You got to live with their mistakes, whether you agree with them or not. And he's saying, well, if the official apologizes to him, then I will apologize. Nick's taking the wrong position.
He still doesn't get it, does he? Elliott, nice fake. Good help defense by McMillan. It didn't matter. Sean Elliott knocked it down. San Antonio by a deuce. Double down on Shrimp. And Johnson intercepts. Avery Johnson in a hurry, but Seattle back on defense.
Sean Elliott trying to make it happen, lost control of the ball, and it's because of the sticky defense. Well,
he'll shoot a pair.
Mobility is really one of the big virtues and assets of Sean Elliott, and a good pump fake gets Detlef Shrimp off his feet, gives him plenty of time to knock that one down. When you're guarding Sean Elliott, you gotta really be aggressive and physical with him. If you're going to get him under control, you have to play him tight and really make him work to get by.
San Antonio's hit only 9 of their 16 free throws, just 56%. You can't expect Will Perdue to better that much. He is not a good free throw shooter, and he missed 2.
David Robinson has been given a lengthy breather, and this is one of the examples of why Les has been better for them. He's been able to get rest, and Perdue has come in and really done a nice job so far. Hasn't been hurt with Perdue out on the floor.
Will averages about a half dozen rebounds a game, and Elliott with a pretty move. And then a little gimpy with that lower back problem he's had. But man, he exploded to the basket. Charles Smith fouls Detlef Shrimp. For Charles, that's his 3rd personal foul. It comes with 6:38 left in the half, and the Spurs up 4.
The new Ford Taurus has people talking. Road and Track says the new V6 is a high-strung engine born to gallop. Chris Hayward said,
"I'm surprised. A car this comfortable has that much pickup."
Automobile Magazine named Taurus Design of the Year. And Ray Wells agrees.
The new shape is just fantastic.
The new Ford Taurus.
Ford finally got me.
Hailed by critics and owners alike, starting at $18,545.
Experience the excitement of your favorite Olympic events, now in commemorative cans of Bud, Bud Light, and Bud Ice. Better yet, if you get one of these special gold cans, you could see the games live in Atlanta. Look for Grab the Gold details wherever you see Bud Family Olympic packages. Just another part of the Bud World Party.
As one of my teammates gets a rebound, I'm already thinking about who's on the right side, who's on the left side, and who's going to be trailing me.
All I'm doing is trying to just look at the defender. I'm going to see what he's doing.
I like to no-look pass.
Between my legs.
Look away.
Around the back.
If there's a perfect pass, it'll be to the right person at the right time.
A perfect pass, getting somebody in the rhythm to shoot the ball.
You have to love the pass. You just have to love the game of basketball.
It could get just a tiny bit testy when host Steve Forbes meets the other Steve Forbes. You heard right. Steve Forbes is hosting Saturday Night Live this week. Steve, make my check out the cash.
David Robinson and the Spurs leading the Sonics in the first meeting between these two teams back in November in Seattle. Robinson, muscling with Frank Rakowski, was accused by the replacement officials of throwing a punch and was ejected from the game. The 3rd time in his career. Actually, that was the 2nd. The 3rd came later. Then the coaches got into it, and eventually Bob Hill was thrown out as well. We asked David Robinson about that incident yesterday, and he said, well, he's more emotional, more involved in the game this season because he senses time running out for him, that this is a team that can win the championship, and he doesn't want to waste that opportunity. Dick Bavetta and the veteran crew here today haven't seen any punches thrown, but we've come close.
The replacement officials were given some real strict guidelines, and they reacted and perhaps overreacted in that situation because there were no punches thrown, and David Robinson got tossed to it. He's followed that up with a couple of other ejections for being very aggressive with the officials. Detlef Schrempf.
He had one other ejection later on in the season, and I think 3 now for his career.
Sam Perkins is back in the game. He'll defend against David Robinson. Bukowski is down. See if they come into David Robinson.
Before they can get the ball in, McMillan comes to double. Finally, they get it to Robinson, who flashes it back outside, and Avery Johnson promptly travels.
The reason that Nate McMillan didn't get called for an illegal defense, he was double teaming the ball. Had they thrown it in right away and he didn't go to the ball, it would have been against him. Turnover, Percy Hawkins.
And the turnover's all even now at 9 apiece. Del Negro wasn't looking as Chuck Person sailed the ball out of bounds.
Vinny's saying, wait, I didn't even know the ball was in play.
Chuck said, my fault. That was like international rules. Man, they took the ball and it was gone.
They had a home run, and the batter didn't take a swing.
Del Negro with a steal. 2 on 3. He'll hold it up. Here's Robinson, low post against Perkins. Back to Elliott. His floater won't go down. Rebounded by Perkins.
I figured out the problem with Hersey Hawkins. He told us when he was stretching, his body is still waiting for a 7:30 game. And so he hasn't gotten into it. Sam Perkins is here on time. Another 3-pointer for Perkins.
Line drives it through, and he has double figures, 10 off the Sonic bench. Person tries to answer and does. Second tray for Chuck. Askew too high. Robinson had it ripped away, and a foul called on Askew of Seattle. Well, we told you Chuck Person with a pair of triples today. 10:36 entering the game behind Dale Ellis and Reggie Miller. The rifleman Chuck Person in his 10th season from Auburn. 5th straight year he's been over 100 3-point field goals.
That has been his trademark. They don't require him to bomb away as often, but he's come through with some crucial big baskets for them. They make the extra pass. Monty Williams.
Sweeping hook won't go after good ball movement by the Spurs. Detlef Schrempf to Payton. And Robinson takes it the other way. Here's Avery Johnson against Perkins for Williams and the lay-in.
Now, if San Antonio had a problem at the defense over the last week, they have improved that dramatically. David Robinson will pick up the foul. Bob Hill wanted to travel on the Detlef Schrempf drive.
Sean Elliott with that sore back heading to the Spurs locker room as David Robinson just picked up his second foul. That was a beautiful baseline move by Detlef Schrempf to get by the Admiral.
But this has been an anemic quarter for points for the Sonics so far. They've only gotten 11 points, 12 now with the Schrempf free throw.
And you think it's because Kemp is out of the game again, having picked up his third foul?
I don't think it's so much Kemp this time. They moved the ball and they executed better in that first stretch when he was out. I think it's the San Antonio defense. They've done a better job of reacting, taking away things that the Sonics were doing well in the first quarter of play.
Here's Del Negro. Meanwhile, Sean Elliott has gone to the locker room. Hannah Storm, what's the story?
Tom, he tried to make a go of it and get back in the game, but the team doctor feels like this may be something serious. They want to make sure it isn't, so they're going to x-ray him back in the locker room. Again, that lower left back, and they think the injury may be a little closer to the tailbone. So they're going to look at him, and I'll let you know what's happened later on.
All right, thanks, Hannah. If you missed it earlier, Elliott made a move to the basket and took a pretty hard fall. Came back and tried to play, left the game sort of gimpy, holding his lower back, returned, and now has once again exited, this time to be x-rayed. Avery Johnson, unhappy, has to spend a timeout, unable to inbound the ball. San Antonio taking advantage of the absence of Sean Kemp.
My parents never win anything, so I decided to take matters into my own hands and play the Disney Video Masterpiece Collection Trivia Challenge at McDonald's. I can get the job done. I'm a Disney Video expert. With any of these food favorites, you get a Disney Trivia game card. Answer the question correctly, and you win instantly every time. There's over 300 million prizes, like cash, Disney videos, or McDonald's food. All you got is a Dodge Viper.
The new 4.6-liter V8 Mustang GT and the new limited edition 305 horsepower V8 Mustang Cobra. Hello. Not since Mr. Ed has a horse spoken so clearly.
Whoa, Wilbur.
Hello from Plank Road, where our man Paul is out to prove that it's what's inside that counts. Take this bottle. Someone went to a lot of trouble to get this ship into it. But what are you gonna do with it? Then take this bottle, Ice House. The folks at Plank Road also went to a lot of trouble, but look at all you get. An ice brewed beer with no watered down taste, so it goes down smooth and easy. So, if it's what's inside that counts, you can always count on Ice House. Thanks, and enjoy.
An all-new Sunday starts with Mad About You. It's Jamie's turn for baby testing, and check out her hunky doctor.
Did you take off the mask?
And a new news radio. Mr. James lost something big in poker.
Bill. What? Bill.
Right here.
I don't think you're understanding me. I lost Bill.
All new NBC Sunday.
Coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report, we'll hear from the two newest members of the Dream Team. That, of course, would be Charles Barkley of the Suns and Mitch Richmond of the Sacramento Kings. And we'll bring you highlights of that important game in Miami between the Heat and the Knicks. Right now, the Spurs lead the Sonics by 5 as we send it back to Tom, Snapper, and Hannah.
All right, Bob, and a look at Sean Kemp, who was snubbed by the Dream Team Selection Committee. How valuable is he? Well, you see that since he's been out with his third foul 5 minutes ago, the Spurs have outscored the Sonics 11-6. That's the margin of their lead at the moment.
They had to burn a timeout to figure out how to get the ball in, and they got it to David Robinson, who now has Askew on his back.
Davis sort of changed that shot at the last minute, couldn't get it through.
He wanted to go to the bank and was somewhere in between.
Perkins had a mismatch on Avery Johnson down low. Bodies collide and foul is called. I think it's on Avery. It's his third foul, so a key third personal for San Antonio. 3 on Avery Johnson.
With Avery Johnson, they got back to quick game. They were able to spread things. Now he's going to have to come back out of the game. Doc Rivers will come in. Sam Perkins, who had a great start, trying to keep them in the ball game right now. He had 7 in that first quarter. It'll be his first chance to score in the second.
Yeah, he'll have one more. Here comes Doc Rivers back in. So Avery Johnson leaves with 3. Charles Smith already has 3 fouls, and Sean Elliott out of the game with a back injury. So numbers becoming critical here for San Antonio with 3:15 left in the first half.
Excuse me, this is going to be Sam Perkins' second scoring chance. He had a 3-pointer from the corner. Now he's got 5 in the quarter.
And he has hit all 5 of his free throws today. Total of 12 points. Rivers passed quickly out of the trap, and then McMillan fouls Person.
Had McMillan continued on, he would have been able to get that ball, but he got just about halfway and then made a reach. But the pressure has a greater effect on this group that's out on the floor. Doc Rivers just got away. Almost could have called in for a hook. Now watch, he could have came in there and got that ball, but he started a little bit too late.
One thing Doc did do well was pass quickly before the trap could get really set. Double down on Robinson. Rivers worked it inside. Williams stripped away from Robinson, taken by Perkins.
Good help by Hersey Hawkins, because Monty Williams made the right play and the right read.
scored. Rebound to Rivers. He's 0 for 2. Rivers. Nice block off by Perkins for the board. Hawkins looking for his first. Can't get the roll. Tapped in by Perkins.
Perkins keeping them close. 7 in this quarter as well. A nice tip-in effort by Perkins. He's got a 1-point lead for San Antonio.
With 2 minutes left in the half. First offensive rebound of the game for Seattle. Robinson lays it in.
And that's the first score for David Robinson in the second quarter. It's taken him about 4 minutes to get it, but he went quickly against Perkins.
He does have 12 points, the Admiral. Perkins misses. It sails out of bounds to San Antonio.
David Robinson has added to his offensive arsenal of moves, and you'll see a nice step and under against Sam Perkins. He got him leaning the wrong way. Now they're going to bring in some meat cleaver. And Frank Brickowski going to stop all of that.
See the time left? Just over a minute and a half.
See Brickowski putting his body all over David Robinson. Good steal by Robinson and one.
And a nice entry pass from Chuck Person. Put it right where Robinson wanted it. And a chance for the three-point play.
This is a lineman going against somebody else. You see how he is just pushed and shoved, but Robinson then spun around and had his back against Brickowski and got the easy score. Three-point play, David Robinson.
15 in the game. Spurs lead it by 6. Can't get the shot away. Finally forced it up, hit the side of the board. Here's Person, the outlet to Rivers. Del Negro, and fumble out of bounds by Williams. They had everything going till then. Couldn't get the finish. Let's go to Hannah Storm for a further report on Sean Elliott.
Well, Tom, they've isolated where the problem is with Elliott. The pain seems to be in the pelvic bone on the backside. They do have x-ray facilities in here, and we should know something soon, possibly by halftime, about his status for the rest of the day. It's very unclear at this point, Tom.
All right, thanks, Hannah, as Seattle throws the ball away on an attempted backdoor cut to Payton.
Turnover still a story, and in scoring attempts, both teams had plays set up which would have given them easy scores and couldn't connect. Turnovers are 11 apiece, so very high for both teams here in the first half.
Robinson, Brickowski got him again.
One way to get rid of Frank Brickowski is to foul him out. You see his reaction saying, I was straight up. You can't be straight up if you're leaning all over somebody to begin with. Third personal foul for Brickowski.
Foul him out, but can you take the punishment in doing it? David Robinson, 4th in the league in scoring at 25 a game. And his numbers almost as good as last year's MVP season, but with Michael Jordan's return, forget about any trophies this year.
Yeah, that's true. David Robinson has had a terrific year and could say I certainly deserve to be the MVP, but Jordan and the Bulls are on their way to 70 wins to win that going away. Robinson gets 1 of 2.
He scored the last 6 points for the Spurs. Here's the final 30 seconds of the half. Shrimp made a nice pass inside, and Perkins wasn't ready for it. Luckily, a Spur got a hand on it to knock it away. 13 to shoot.
25 left in the game. And in the half.
Payton's floater goes on the bounce.
With the exception of the steals and conversion, Payton has been pretty quiet here, kept in check in the first half of play. 9 on the shot clock. Monty Williams was begging for the ball, but they didn't give it to him.
Rivers working his way inside, wanted the foul, no call, and no shot before the half comes to an end. So the San Antonio Spurs, led by the Admiral David Robinson, take a 5-point lead. Sean Kemp has been in foul trouble, only 8 minutes and 6 points. David Robinson leading the way, 50-45 at the half.
The If you let me play.
If you let me play sports.
I will like myself more. I'll have more self-confidence.
If you let me play sports.
If you let me play.
If you let me play.
I will be 60% less likely to get breast cancer. I will suffer less depression.
If you let me play sports.
I will be more likely to leave a man who beats
If you
me.
let me play. I'll be less likely to get pregnant before I want to.
I will learn.
I will learn what it means to be strong.
To be strong.
If you let me play. Play sports.
If you let me play sports.
Guess which motor oil more top mechanics use in their own cars and trucks over any other oil? Valvoline. The #1 choice of America's top mechanics.
Goodyear revolutionized wet traction design with AquaTread. Now, Goodyear introduces InfiniTread, the first tire with a lifetime tread life warranty. The new all-season InfiniTread. Its tread is guaranteed for as long as you own your car. Call 1-800-GOODYEAR.
No one knows why they play Follow the Leader, but at least we know who they've been following. Sea-Doo, the best-selling boat in the world.
Sunday at 12:30 Eastern on NBC. History's in the making when Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and the Chicago Bulls go for a record-tying win number 69 when they face the Cavs. Then a Showtime matchup of superstars. Charles Barkley and the Suns battle Magic Johnson and the Lakers. An NBA on NBC doubleheader Sunday. This is the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by Prudential. Live well, make a plan, be your own rock.
Spurs lead the Sonics 50-45 at the half. David Robinson 16 points, Sam Perkins 14 for Seattle. Sean Kemp just 6 points and 3 fouls at halftime. Bob Costas along with Julius Erving and Peter Bessie in New York. One other game going on right now in the NBA, and it matches Pat Riley's Miami Heat against his former team, the New York Knicks. Riley 0-3 this year against New York. First quarter now, Anthony Mason backs in on Hardaway. He'll hit the shot and the subsequent free throw for a three-point play. Mason had 7 in the first quarter. Alonzo Mourning hot early. A nice move inside for 2 of his 16 first-half points. The Knicks led by 2 at the end of 1. Jeff Van Gundy, coaching against Riley for the first time, didn't start John Starks today. Starks entered the game in the second quarter and hit a three-pointer, putting the Knicks up 34-30. But at the half now, it's Miami 49 and the Knicks 47. Mourning has shot 7 of 11 for 16 points. He and the Heat vying for that last spot in the Eastern Conference playoffs, but when the season's over, he'll think contract.
That's right. He has the option to become a free agent. We know he's going to exercise that, and sources tell me that he knows that there'll be $102 million on the table for 6 years. That's $17 million per year.
Say what?
You got it. And with all due respect to Zoe's ability, do you give that kind of money to a guy who's an undersized center who really can't stop the centers, the elite guys in front of him, and can't outscore them anyway? Kind of outlandish in today's salary cap league.
Do you give that kind of cash?
Well, he's going to get it from them or somebody. Anyway, I wouldn't leave that deal on the table too long. Speaking of undersized centers, you know, the history of basketball tells us there have been plenty of undersized centers. Willis Reed, Dave Cowens, Wes Unseld as an example. And the key becomes the supporting cast that they have around them. You know, of course, Unseld had Elvin Hayes, Reed with Frazier, Monroe, Bradley, DeBusschere, and Dave Cowens, JoJo White, Charlie Scott, John Havlicek. So undersized centers can get the job done if they can do the job that makes them a Hall of Fame and they have some Hall of Fame help.
But again, there was no salary cap back then.
And of course, if you're going to pay one guy $17 million a year,
tough to fill in the spots.
What do you pay the rest of the roster? Up next, we'll hear from the 2 newest members of the Dream Team, Charles Barkley and Mitch Richmond. First, a message from Prudential and a word from the NBA.
If it wasn't for music, I don't know where I'd be. I mean, I'm able to do something that not everybody does. Going into the entertainment business where there's no security. And you say, listen, I've got to do something else to supplement what I'm doing. Some people wrap themselves around the trunk of a tree, and this is where they stay. But you've got to go out on that limb. You have to have faith in yourself.
From the Dream Team, Anthony Hardaway.
Penny on the break will drive and slam it in. Hardaway knocks down the...
I'm lucky I'm on the Dream Team. We don't need your help to get to the Olympics, but there are a lot of athletes who do.
Help them get there. Call now. U.S. Olympians receive no financial support from our government. They need yours. Every donor receives official Olympic merchandise.
If you weren't with us on the pregame show, the official announcement was made earlier today by USA Basketball that the two additional members of the Dream Team are Charles Barkley and Mitch Richmond. Peter Vesey asked Charles why he wanted to play in another Olympics.
It's exciting. I mean, it's an unbelievable thing. I don't think it can ever recapture what it was the first time, but I mean, come on, to play in the Olympics, I think you got to be crazy to turn that down.
I would have thought, though, the second time around, you would have wanted to coach Angola instead of beating up on him.
Well, I just hope that, you know, people appreciate our talent this time. Don't try to make a big deal out of everything we do. I mean, I'm going to play the way I play. I try to beat up anybody I play against. That's just the way I play. And if people don't like it, they'll get over it.
But at your age, Charles, I would think you would want the summer off.
I think it'll help
rather
me.
than practice.
Yeah, I thought about that, but I think it will help me. I think it will keep me in shape all summer. I think I will have to work out all summer. So that was something that I talked about with my friends. You know, because obviously I hate to work out. I mean, there's no secret. I never play basketball during the summer. I always get 10 to 20 pounds overweight. But, you know, last time I played in the Olympics, I worked out all summer. I came to camp in great shape, and I had my best year ever. So that definitely has something to do with it. I mean, because I hate to work out, but if I have to work out, you know, this is going to help me.
Do you see this as a Lifetime Achievement Award?
No, I just think that I'm not sure. I think that the one thing that's gotten lost in our season, I think I played very well this season. So I think very few guys have had a good year of basketball as I have. I think I played very well, but I think because of our team has struggled, you know, you kind of get lost. You know, I think that's one thing when your team doesn't do well, you never get credit or respect. But I think I played very well this season.
You're playing the Lakers on Sunday, going up against your old teammate, Cedric Ceballos. What do you make of what he did leaving the team, and now Nick Van Exel pushing the referee? What is going on, Charles? You've become the voice of reason. Scary.
That is scary. I mean, I think one of the reasons they might have put me on the Dream Team is they said you can start out like a maniac and you can change. So they probably want to keep me invisible so these young guys can change. No, I think that Cedric made a mistake, Nick made a mistake. You know, they're both wrong, and that's it. I can't sit around. I don't like harping on them like everybody else has. When you're in the spotlight, you know, everything you do is magnified. They were both wrong. They both got in trouble for it, and they need to move on from that.
Charles Barkley will be playing on his second Olympic squad. So too will Mitch Richmond, although his first appearance back in 1988 didn't turn out very well. That U.S. squad lost in the semifinals to the Soviet team and eventually settled for a bronze. We asked Richmond about that 1988 experience.
Well, you know, it's a chance to go back to redeem myself, and definitely, you know, David Robinson and some of the other guys had a chance to do that. You know, I feel that with this team that we can win the gold medal, and it's a chance to, you know, be in the history books again, and I'm looking forward to it, no doubt.
Over the years, they've asked me about who I patterned my game after, and I've, you know, had to credit Elgin Baylor and Connie Hawkins for being great influences on my game. Who would you pattern your game after, and how'd you go about trying to, you know, develop those skills after you picked somebody, if you picked anybody?
Well, I think everyone, watched you play, Julius, when you were coming up, and I didn't have the jumping ability as you did, but only on the smaller rims. But I think a guy like Oscar Robertson, some of the older guys that kind of, played under the rim and did some of the things on the court. I think I tried to pattern my game a little bit after Oscar a little bit more.
Mitch, let me put you on the spot here. What's more meaningful to you, making the playoffs or making the Olympics?
I think both is meaningful. I think, come
on, pick one.
I got to pick two. I think we haven't been there in a while, and I haven't been there in a while. Last time I went when I was with Golden State. So this is a time for me to go back and just show people that I can play, and I'm really looking forward to it. We're still in the hunt, and we still control our own destiny. So hopefully we can get there.
Well, last year they let the playoffs slip from their grasp. Right now they're a game and a half up on Golden State and 2 up on Denver after losing a game they probably should have won last night in Vancouver. Let's go back to Barkley. He and the Suns play the Lakers tomorrow on NBC, and if things hold, they'll play San Antonio in the first round of the playoffs. I'm
going to surprise you a little here. I think that the Suns can get away in that series. They have, if faced with short-term goals, I think that they're able to win a series. And in a 5-game series, you win one game on the other guy's home court, pressure immediately on San Antonio. The key in this series will be John Williams. He's been healthy. He's missed the last couple games with a hand injury, but he's been mostly healthy the last couple weeks, last month or so. His defense on David Robinson, key in this series.
You think they can come from the 7th slot? I see you kind of smirking a little bit. Come from the 7th slot and beat the number 2 seeded Spurs?
My man over here is dreaming. There's no way the Suns beat the Spurs. I mean, this is the team that just had a 17-game winning streak a couple weeks ago. And they're just biding their time now. When they get out into the playoffs, they will be ready. They have all the pieces. There's no way the Suns beat the Spurs in the first round.
Suns and Lakers, one of the games we'll show you tomorrow, and we'll send you back for the second half right after these messages from your local station.
This has been the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by Prudential. Live well, make a plan, be your own rock.
They said it was safe to go back in the water. They were wrong.
That thing's killed 7 people. It's out of control.
From the best-selling author of Jaws, Peter Benchley.
Oh, my God.
The Beast, NBC in 2 weeks.
This is the NBA on NBC. The game of the week.
Tom Hammond, Steve Jones, and a storm at the Alamo Dome. The Spurs able to cut off the sonic fast break the last 10 minutes of the half to take a 5-point lead. As we look at our Miller Lite halftime stats, turnovers expected to be a factor in the game, all even at 11 apiece. Avery Johnson in foul trouble has only 4 points, but 8 assists. And the shooting by San Antonio continues to be very good. 18 of 34, 53%. Seattle so far held a 42% shooting. And the leader scorer in the first half, the Admiral David Robinson, 16 points, hitting 5 of his 9 shots from the floor. So at the end of the first half, San Antonio with a 5-point lead. Second half is coming up.
To play well is to leave a mark. On the field, on the earth, upon others. And playing well leaves a mark on you. You're gonna get thirsty. That's why there's Gatorade. Because as long as you're making your mark, you don't want to be drinking something that misses it. Life is a sport. Drink it out.
Designed for the man with sensitive skin. Schick Tracer FX.
Mom, we don't do fried.
KFC realizes fried chicken isn't on everybody's menu every day. That's why we're introducing new Tender Roast. KFC roasted chicken served in pieces. Right now, get 2 pieces, 2 sides, and a biscuit, just $2.99.
At the Russell Defensive Driving School, they teach a course called Street Survival. Here, drivers learn the fine art of skid control, accident avoidance, and emergency braking. While it's tough on the students, it's torture on the cars. Fortunately, they rely on the durable Mitsubishi Galant because even after miles of abuse, the Galant's always ready for more. The Galant, a car of enduring quality. From Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles.
Next weekend, golf's legends gather for the oldest major senior championship. Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, Gary Player, Raymond Floyd, Hale Irwin, and more. The PGA Seniors Championship, presented by Advil, beginning next Saturday at 1:30 Eastern on NBC.
Ready to start the third quarter. San Antonio leading Seattle 50-45. Sean Elliott took a nasty spill earlier. Let's go to Hannah Storm for an update on his condition.
Well, Tom, the good news is no broken bones. The bad news for the Spurs is Sean Elliott will not be back in this game. It's uncertain if he'll miss any more time than this. He has what they're calling a posterior pelvic contusion, which quite simply put is a bruise in the back of the pelvic bone. And in his place, I talked to Bob Hill. He said we'll see a lot of minutes from Chuck Person and also potentially Monty Williams, who's been playing a lot more in the last couple of games. So again, Sean Elliott will not be back in this game for the San Antonio Spurs. Tom?
Okay, Hannah, so Sean Elliott, who is averaging 20 a game, will not be available for the second half. Sam Perkins, replacing Sean Kemp, who has been in foul trouble in the first half, leads the Sonic point attack with 14. David Robinson, 16, the only Spur in double figures.
From those four players on each side, it would tell us that it's almost an even game. Turnovers have been a story for both teams. They've missed some easy chances to break the game open. Defense has gotten them back into it. It will be interesting to see how San Antonio fills the void and the mobility that Sean Elliott gives them. Chuck Person, and that used to be his position. He's a lot bigger and a lot slower than when he was 10 years ago.
Spurs possession to open the second half. Person starts in place of Elliott. Other than that, the starting five's intact on either side.
Good idea would be to get the ball to David Robinson whenever Sean Kemp comes in his direction to see if you can get that fourth foul.
Del Negro came up short. Kemp gives it up to Payton. Second rebound for Sean.
Hawkins didn't score in his 18 minutes, but gets Del Negro with the foul to start the third quarter.
Payton will trigger the offense for the Sonics, being checked by Avery Johnson.
See if they try to establish Sean Kemp. They haven't been able to get much from him because he's been on the bench, and they certainly need a scoring. Payton, tough shot.
They forgot about him, and he took the opportunity to put it up, but not a good shot. Smith left open. Only the third point for Charles Smith, who spent some time in foul trouble on the Spurs bench.
Every time the crowd has gotten a little courage and started to make some noise, the Sonics have had an answer. See if they step up here in the third. Shrimp. Charles Smith down. He got kneed.
Smith holding his hip, left hip. You hear him say, I got kneed. Smith, of course, returning to the lineup today after missing 2 games with back spasms, and the walking wounded continue to mount for the Spurs.
Nothing worse than a hip pointer, but Detlef Shrimp comes in knee high and catches Charles Smith. You see him immediately go out of the picture and to the floor.
Well, while they tend to Charles Smith, we'll take a break. The NBA on NBC.
Shining star for you to see what your life can truly be.
Just what you need from the coupe that takes your breath away. More oxygen. Introducing the all-new Mitsubishi Eclipse convertible. It has quite an effect on drivers, too. The new Eclipse convertible. From Mitsubishi.
Look who's winning at McDonald's. Jerry Kenny won $100,000. Susie Howard won free Happy Meals for a year. Come play the Disney Video Masterpiece Collection Trivia Challenge today at McDonald's. You could be next.
If more top mechanics use one motor oil over any other brand in their own cars and trucks, maybe it's time you changed your oil. Valvoline, the #1 choice of America's top mechanics.
This year's Olympics are in Atlanta, but the games will be everywhere. The Bud World Party, a great time to share a Bud with friends, no matter where you are. Budweiser, proud sponsor of the '96 Summer Games.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Budweiser, official sponsor of the 1996 Olympic Summer Games. This Bud's for you. By the all-new Eclipse Spider convertible. It's fun you can depend on from Mitsubishi. And by the new Schick Tracer FX, designed for sensitive skin.
And back at the Alamo Dome, Charles Smith apparently is okay, back on the court. Let's go to Hannah Storm.
Well, more reaction on the Dream Team selection today of Barkley and Richmond, Tom. And Greg Popovich, the general manager of the Spurs, I know you wrote a letter to the NBA touting Sean Elliott's candidacy. What was your reaction today?
Well, you got to try to stick with your guys. I think Barkley and Richmond are deserving and great choices. I just hope Sean gets his chance someday because I think he's really underrated.
Okay, on a different subject matter, we've seen what's happened with Nick Van Exel this week. Dennis Rodman, the guy that was so divisive here last year, having some problems. Is there a growing issue of unprofessionalism among some of the players in the NBA?
No, I think it's dangerous to categorize too much. Obviously, those guys were wrong in what they did. But I think for every one of those guys, there are 5 or 6 other young people who do a great job. So I think we tend to give a little too much attention to those guys. But overall, we've got to take care of that situation.
Thanks, Greg. Good luck in the playoffs. Tom?
All right, Hannah, David Robinson taking care of things with an outside jump shot. I guess Greg knows what he's talking about after last season, huh? Putting up with the antics of Dennis Rodman.
All you hear about from teams, and the ones that have good success is this elusive chemistry, and what is it and how it works, and when it gets turned sideways. And for the Chicago Bulls, their hope is that they have now pulled Rodman back in for George Karl. His problem and nightmare was Kendall Gill. He changed for Hersey Hawkins, and it seems to be a stable situation.
Chuck Person got the roll. Nice move to the hoop. 8 for Chuck. Hawkins trying to leave it for Kemp, picked off by Del Negro. Numbers for the Spurs. Del Negro. Smith came up short. Del Negro kept it alive.
Right now, the aggressors on the floor are the San Antonio Spurs. They seem to want this game a lot more than the Sonics, and see if the Sonics can respond with their defense.
There's the rebounding total. San Antonio by 2. Irvin Johnson called for the foul, trying to muscle David Robinson underneath, and that's 4 on Johnson.
The book on Chuck Person is he seldom drives, and Detlef Schrempf, who has played him and played with him, knows that, and got surprised, got beat off the dribble.
Del Negro, that's a 2, a long-range 2 for Vinny. He's in double figures, and the Sonics will take a timeout. San Antonio has its biggest lead, the NBA on NBC.
You know, Mr. Guy, life hasn't always been easy for me. Tell it like it feels, brother. Didn't make the cut my freshman year in high school. Didn't get drafted my senior year. No. Didn't make the Pan Am team in '87 or the Summer Games in '88. I'll be done. Now you want to know how I got where I am? Well, if the blues don't kill you, brother, they'll make you a mighty, mighty man. You can say
over.
Hey, it ain't over until the fat lady's team.
Hey, wait a minute. That's Larry Bird.
Don't believe it. Believe it.
Can't bring in Bird is in. Bird for three. Bird dunks.
Bird dunks?
Of course, he's in the zone. What a comeback.
When you've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good.
Oh, cue that fat lady.
At the Russell Defensive Driving School, they teach a course called Street Survival. Here, drivers learn the fine art of skid control, accident avoidance, and emergency braking. While it's tough on the students, it's torture on the cars. Fortunately, they rely on the durable Mitsubishi Galant, because even after miles of abuse, the Galant's always ready for more. The Galant, a car of enduring quality. From Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles.
Do you remember the long jump specialist whose efforts stunned the world and the athletes he faced? A record leap by almost 2 feet, untouched for decades and remembered forever. Olympian Bob Beamon. This summer, dreams take on a life of their own on NBC.
The Coyote getting a free ride here in San Antonio as the Spurs, who have scored the last 6 in a row, had their biggest lead.
Kemp is a guy they want to get the ball to and get him involved. David Robinson takes that chance away, so they drop down. Charles Smith got good help from a guy who knows a lot about shot blocking.
First block of the day, though, for the Admiral.
Inside, and David Robinson with 2 more blocks will reach 2,000 for his career.
Here's Kemp outside, driving on Smith and dishing. Schrempf, the open 3. 13 points for Detlef. It's an 8-point game.
What the Sonics want to do at the defensive end is start making the Spurs a perimeter team, start making them make some mistakes with the ball. Person
pulls up over Kemp. The Rifleman with double figures. Hawkins to answer and won't go down. Kemp, though, rescues it. Percy Hawkins is 0 for 4 in the game.
That's not enough shots to find out whether he has it or not. He has to be more aggressive at the offensive end. John Kemp steps outside. That's his first jumper.
Charles Smith takes it the other way. Kemp blocked it. Smith wanted a foul. No whistle. Payton leads the Sonic break. Can't score. Follows his own shot and gets it down. And a 20-second San Antonio timeout is called as Payton has just registered his 10th point.
On the drive, Charles Smith puts the ball behind his head. If he puts the ball out and takes it to the rim, he probably is going to get the call. Didn't help himself out on that one at all.
Well, not too long ago, San Antonio had that club record 17-game winning streak, and look at their record by month. It has been indeed a roller coaster season for San Antonio.
It's been a pretty good roller coaster, though. I mean,
I was getting motion sickness there.
Most of it's been up. They haven't had a lot of downs, and they started the month of April slow. And I think it seems like it's roller coaster when you compare it to a perfect month like they had in March.
Bob Hill said they lost their concentration a little bit after the streak was ended, and perhaps the streak took a lot out of them.
Payton with some good pressure on Avery Johnson. They're down to 8 seconds on the shot clock and not anywhere near a set. They got to get the ball up and down, too.
Johnson got it away. Front rim. Kemp.
And Kemp had a big advantage, and they should have just let him back Del Negro down when they end up taking a deep 3.
7 rebounds for the Admiral as Schrempf missed an open 3. One that he made the last attempt. Bob Hill telling us that it was the defense that suffered as the streak came to an end, and then they went 3 and 3 since. Got it down low to David Robinson. 20 for him. Kemp made it hard. A difficult shot as Kemp reverses it through. He could have gone straight up to the rim.
And Sean Kemp has the highest degree of difficulty of any forward in the league, and he seems to relish making a tough shot. Doesn't like the easy ones unless they're throwdown.
Kemp with that block of Robinson's shot. Here's Payton fouled at midcourt by Person.
Now, when you look at Sean Kemp, you'd say this is a layup on this side. No, I'm going to make sure that David Robinson had no chance to get it. But Sean Kemp is trying to get into this game. Again, off the ball, Sean Kemp comes in to make a save against David Robinson. Will Purdue in the ball game. Charles Smith down. See if he stiffens up. He had heat on his leg during the last break.
Kemp's numbers down for this game because he's been on the bench in foul trouble most of the first half. Only played 8 minutes.
Trent has got it going here in the quarter. He's got 7 in the quarter.
15 for the game. The lead is 6. Person. That one from the Riverwalk won't go down. Kemp authoritative rebound.
Payton just rolled his way in but couldn't get it to stay. It was a good effort by Payton, but that was an example of how Seattle gets back in game.
Del Negro fumbles it out of bounds. First turnover by San Antonio this third quarter.
Mr. Consistency, steady Detlef Schrempf has been the guy that's kept them close here in the third quarter of play. 7 points and able to take advantage of his strength and size against Chuck Person.
Robinson flops down. Kemp and one. What a shot by Sean Kemp, again on the reversal as David Robinson went to the floor.
Well, the boos are coming all the way down from the top of the Alamo Dome. They saw this as a charge, and then Kemp, well, he was nice. He could have stepped on it. He stepped right over him and still made the hoop.
Look at this. Even doing the splits to avoid stepping on him, managed to get it down, then misses the free throw. 4-point game. Sonics climbing back in it. Here's the entry to Robinson. Quick double team. Passed out of it. Again. Person.
Oh, he can finger roll.
Shades of George Gervin. He took off at the dotted line for that finger roll.
6 1/4 for Person. He may think about going back to playing small forward. He's been pretty good here in the third.
Payton still can't get it down from point-blank range. Here's Avery Johnson. Del Negro. Purdue knocked it away from Del Negro, and the Sonics have it.
Payton looked up, saw David Robinson, but David didn't come out to challenge, so nice little transition opportunity for Gary Payton.
4.5 remaining. Pace picking up here at the Alamo Dome. 2 best teams in the Western Conference. Final regular season meeting.
Every time the ball goes into David Robinson now, they're going to make it go back outside. Person couldn't cash on that deep three.
Perkins against Purdue. Blocking foul on Purdue. His second.
Chuck Person has been very aggressive as a small forward, and this is a sweet finger roll.
The Iceman would have liked it. See the banners for the Spurs. If they win today, they will claim another Midwest Division title. 8 of them since joining the NBA in 1976.
Will Purdue comes over and they double up Kemp. That means it's going to be a perimeter try.
Person with a board, and Chuck doing it all, replacing Sean Elliott.
What Payton has tried to do is keep Avery Johnson from the ball and then try to surprise someone else if they're coming around his area in the passing lane.
Foul as Robinson spins to the rim. Doc Rivers in for Del Negro at the shooting guard for the Spurs.
Detlef Schrempf came over, and I'm sure he's telling Sam Perkins, don't let him go baseline. If you can keep him from going baseline, I will cut off the middle and some miscommunication, and that's how Perkins gets the foul.
Nice pass. Robinson spots A.J. for the hoop.
Perkins in his spot.
That's the three. The line drive, no good. Purdue and Robinson. Finally, the Admiral claims it. David has 11 boards.
What teams want Avery Johnson to do is shoot the jump shot. What Avery likes to do is try to penetrate, get in the middle, turn the corner, break down the defense. Shooting against the shot clock. Chuck Person, 7.
And a charge, an offensive foul called on Chuck Person of San Antonio, his third.
Now, David Robinson has improved as a guy that plays out on the perimeter and sees people that are open. And if you don't put pressure on him, he's going to be able to find his teammates a quick entry pass and an easy 2 for Avery Johnson.
Person picking up the third foul goes to the bench, and Monty Williams replaces him. That's Williams checking Askew. Perkins for 3. Kemp, strong offensive rebound. Flips it back to Askew and lays it in. Great play by Sean Kemp. Spurs lead is 4.
McMillan is coming. They don't want David Robinson to go to a strong hand. They're going to make Monty Williams or Will Purdue try to score the basketball. Purdue against Askew, the foul.
And Askew, after ripping the ball free, is thrown out of the game as he went after Purdue. And Vincent Askew ejected from the game. George Karl now up arguing the case.
The second time that Purdue and Askew have been face-to-face, and Karl is out there now, and they're trying to get Askew off the floor.
Do these guys not read the paper?
Well, this time
not watch television.
This time it's not. They're going after the official. They have time sometimes when manhood gets in the way of thoughtful thinking, and that's a problem for Askew right now. He's taken whatever has happened between he and Will Purdue, it's become a personal issue, and it's a question of his manhood, and he takes exception of Purdue's forearm, and now he comes at him, and they have words.
Just to my way of thinking, this is no time for a team that's got the best record in the West, less than 2 weeks before the playoffs, to have this kind of disruption. This is what a team like Seattle does not need.
Certainly, they want to play within themselves. One thing you can't control are emotions, but what you want your players to do is always think about each situation. There was no need for Askew to react.
And for a moment, he shoved at Joe Borgia, the official, too. I don't think he did it intentionally. I think he was just trying to get free from whomever was restraining him, but a very dangerous situation for Askew. This has been brewing since early in the game when they squared off momentarily. Robinson hits the technical free throw. Dick Bavetta chasing Sean Kemp back out of the lane, who is arguing his case. Del Negro returns for the Spurs. And Avery Johnson will sit down.
Peyton and Kemp both trying to explain why Askew went a little berserk.
First free throw for Will Purdue after he missed his first 2. Look at Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp's the peacemaker here.
Well, he should be. I mean, he understands that they don't want the situation to get out of hand, and certainly they don't want any fracas. Purdue gets 1 of 2.
Sean could just get that schedule of planes from Seattle to Portland down.
Twice he's missed it, and it's been costly for him.
Miami leading New York, as you see, in the third.
Big game for Miami as they're in a real tussle for that 8th and final position. Turnover, Sean Kemp.
Great anticipation by Kemp for 10. Ooh. attacked that basket as if it was the tax man tomorrow, didn't he? Got back to 4 again. 1:30 left in the third quarter.
If you're going to get some mistakes from the Sonics, from the Spurs by the Sonics, it's going to be now with Avery Johnson off the floor, and Sean Kemp just steps in, floats it out to himself, and a little glider. He didn't like that one. Normally, when he relaxes it, he gives it a couple of lefts and rights. Del Negro got fouled on that last possession and will go to the line. But every time San Antonio's tried to break the game open, Seattle's been able to answer by making some strong statement defensively to rally back, and it stayed right around a 4 to 6 point game for most of this quarter.
Del Negro nets the 2 free tosses. It's a 70-64 San Antonio lead. David Wingate has made his first appearance in the Seattle lineup. Payton fouled by Rivers on the fall away. Doc with a look of disbelief, but assess number 3, excuse me.
The two guys that have to make it happen are Sean Kemp and Payton. They're beginning to wake up here in the second half. Payton was not totally asleep. He had 8 points in that first half of play, but didn't seem to really be dominating any of the activity. Kemp has come back in after being in foul trouble and gotten himself going. Payton gets 1 of 2.
Strong rebound by Purdue, who then had it swiped by Payton. And Purdue with a foul trying to get it back. That's his third foul.
This is just a very aggressive play by Gary Payton. Purdue will stick it out there, and Payton gets to it before he even knows that he's anywhere around, and grabs him.
Payton trying to fire his teammates up. 1:14 to play in the quarter. He has 15 now. Here's the pressure from Seattle. McMillan picking up Del Negro in backcourt. Purdue with a screen. Robinson double team. Purdue floating around under the hoop open. They couldn't get it to him. Instead, Rivers, a three-pointer, rims out to Robinson. Rivers to Purdue. Roll out. Robinson missed a tap. Perkins has it. Here's Payton against Del Negro. Gave it up to Wingate. And a foul is called.
Goaltending Will Purdue. Will Purdue did not like the call. Looked like he made a good save from the rear. This is a very good pass. And Purdue is on this all the way.
And a foul. I saw Dick Bavetta signal foul. Did he signal goaltend as well?
Did not.
Yeah, just foul. So 4 now on Will. As the Spurs employing their twin tower look at the moment with Robinson and Purdue in the game. And Wingate toes the line for a pair. Avery Johnson and Chuck Person return for the Spurs. Rivers and Purdue will sit. Will with his 4th foul.
At the top of the quarter, it looked like the Spurs may run away and hide, but Wingate's got a chance to make it a 1-point ball game if he can cash that free throw.
And he does with 36.8 left in the third. Perkins just gave a Person a little elbow out of the view of Greg Willard, the official. Johnson trapped in backcourt, dribbles his way out of it. Tough to trap Avery Johnson. Just so quick, he outruns it. Person for 3. Wingate the board.
Sonics got about 2-second differential between game and shot clock, and they're going to hold, and they try to spread the floor, let Gary Payton create something. Avery Johnson should go to it.
Sonics for the lead at the end of the quarter. McMillan's three is no good. Knocked out of bounds by Perkins with 3.4 seconds left. Person from midcourt, partially blocked. Got another heave at it, but no good. And the third quarter comes to an end with the Spurs clinging to a one-point edge. San Antonio 70 and Seattle 69. Big quarter for Sean Kemp. We'll return to San Antonio after these messages and a word from your local station.
Just what you need from the coupe that takes your breath away. More oxygen. Introducing the all-new Mitsubishi Eclipse convertible. It has quite an effect on drivers, too. The new Eclipse convertible from Mitsubishi.
Fourth quarter about to unfold at the Alamo Dome with San Antonio leading Seattle by 1, 70-69. The intensity of a playoff game here in recent minutes. The ejection of Vincent Askew of Seattle for fighting. But the Sonics seem to take heart, seem to get them fired up. They've outscored San Antonio 7-2 since that point. In fact, San Antonio's 0 for 5 since Askew was thrown out.
Now the benches are going to have to be the story in finishing this ball game. Some key players not only in foul trouble, but Sean Elliott, a starter for the San Antonio Spurs, out of this one for the rest of the afternoon. Perkins misses twice.
Spurs with the ball up 1, looking to win and nail down the title in the Midwest Division.
They have doubled David Robinson every time. This time they get a turnover. Payton.
Can't convert, though. Can't finish on the layup. Person got rid of it to Smith. Several occasions today, Payton has been unable to finish. Robinson can.
When he's been able to get one-on-one coverage, he's certainly made the defense of the Sonics pay, but they have been, every time he goes in and they've got their defense set, he's had to cough it up.
23 for the Admiral. Out of bounds to San Antonio as Payton argues his case, but Seattle turns it over.
The trim coming in, Gary Payton getting a breather. Nate McMillan and David Wingate will go into the backcourt. This is the big team, but this is not a great ball handling team for the Sonics.
Smith. Long rebound. Perkins, though, outfights Avery Johnson for possession.
Trying to get the ball to Perkins. He's really a very good low post player who doesn't operate down there very often. But the Sonics have been working out on the outside. Detlef Shrimp, and the Sonics 6 on the shot clock.
Brakowski, that's his second 3 of the game. Big man showing the outside shooting touch. And with 10 minutes left, we're tied at 72.
If you let Brakowski plant his feet and give him a lot of time, he'll make that shot. David Robinson has to come out on him.
Perkins on the double down of Robinson. Johnson tapped by Smith. Good.
Tough effort there by Charles Smith. He had to come over the back and not get any contact and still get to the ball.
Spurs by 2.
David Robinson closed up the distance between himself and Brakowski. Gets a kick. You see the Avery Johnson hook shot is short, and Smith has got to come around and get the tip, and you see two giants locked up.
Michael and the Bulls face the Cavs. The Magic and the Lakers host Barkley and the Suns Sunday.
Like all Americans, I like big things. Big prairies. Big forests and mountains.
big wheat fields, and everything else.
Did I tell you what Patty said that Rachel heard about what Mark said about Patty? Well, Bill, are you listening? Anyway, Patty ran into Rachel, who had run into Mark at a party. So, according to Bill, are you listening to me or to the game?
5 ticks left on the clock. Missiles down by 1. Just a reminder, this game brought to you by Miller Lite. When you've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good. Smith inbounds to Waitman through the paint. Tomahawk jam. Yes!
Miller, where great taste runs in the family, brings you Miller Moments.
Today, we look back at 2 memorable April performances. George Gervin of the Spurs won the '78 NBA scoring title on the last day of the regular season, scoring 63 to beat out David Thompson. Then in '94, David Robinson bested Shaquille O'Neal on the final day of the season as he had 71 against the Clippers. In recognition of these moments, the Miller Brewing Company will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. That was just a moment ago as friendly rivals David Robinson and Frank Rakowski share a smile, a little more pleasant sight than Askew and Purdue when they squared off. Despite the beating Rakowski has delivered, he and Robinson can smile.
Same tactic whenever Shrimp gets the ball. They're trying to double, and they're going to call an offensive foul. Shrimp reached back and knocked the arm down of Chuck Person. Goes in, and then it comes back, and watch the hand come out, and he gave him just a touch, but Chuck Person was able to get away with a hand check that time. He was supposed to have a bent arm, didn't have it.
Second foul on Shrimp. Just over 9 minutes now left in the game. Smith sets a screen for Johnson, doesn't use it.
Well, they're trying to trap Avery Johnson. The Spurs are working against the clock at 8.
Del Negro can't hit. Shrimp.
To dominate the inside with Shrimp or Sean Kemp whenever they get a chance.
Rakowski nowhere to go. Passed it right to Avery Johnson. Smith, the trailer, collides with Wingate, who is called for the block.
Big men get themselves in funny positions, and Charles Smith knew he didn't have the lane to take it all the way and was trying to get out of the way of Wingate. Wingate not quite set. Sonics don't like the call.
Johnson left open.
That's the shot they're going to give Avery Johnson. If you're going to lose to San Antonio, you want Avery Johnson to be the guy to beat you from the perimeter, not breaking you down off the dribble.
Rakowski passed up the 3. Kemp from outside, rattled out. Smith with the outlet to Johnson. 2-on-2. Johnson fumbles and travels.
He looked up and he saw a speeding David Robinson, and he was going to lob it, never got back down to it.
Avery Johnson 8 points, 11 assists on the game, and the Spurs usually win when he has double-figure assists. Kemp pushed by Charles Smith.
George Karl says, I've seen enough of misdirection. I'm going to get a director out on the floor. Gary Payton in, David Wingate down.
Smith just picked up his 4th foul, 7:40 to play. Kemp, double team, looking to get out of it. Ball stolen, couldn't get away.
Good defense by San Antonio to force the mistake.
Del Negro wide open and makes Seattle pay. Timeout, Sonics. 14 for Vinny Del Negro. And the Spurs again kick it to a 6-point lead.
To get in Lula Scott's way, you'd have to be a fool.
You were in Beantown now, baby! Beantown!
To kidnap him, you'd have to be crazy.
Y'all ready for this?
Now he's showing them
Don't make me hurt you now!
they picked the wrong man.
Really good at this.
To double team Celtic Pride.
I might have to go to jail and become some bad man's boyfriend.
Rated PG-13. Starts April 19th.
Are you ready? Let's go. Get out and play. Give whatever you've got. You like that? Gatorade. Good. You're gonna get thirsty. Gatorade. Drink it out. Drink it out. Gatorade. Life is a sport. Tough day. Drink it up.
There are more than 77 million parents in America today, all doing the same thing, worrying about their kids. That's why Chevy Lumina offers an integrated child safety package. Few cars can offer your kids this protection, and no car in its class offers it for the price of a Lumina. For 77 million of you, that's one less thing to worry about. The cars more Americans trust.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Miller Lite. With a great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good. By Hollywood Pictures' Celtic Pride, coming to theaters April 19th. And by the cars and trucks 36 million people depend on every day. Genuine Chevrolet.
A short distance away from the Alamo, the shrine of Texas independence, the Alamo Dome. Final regular season meeting between the two best teams in the West. Sonics win. They nail down the best record in the West home court throughout the conference playoffs. San Antonio victory gives them the Midwest division and locks them into the second spot. We have 7:17 left, and the Spurs up 78-72.
Interesting psychology by George Karl in the huddle. And he told his team that he thought that San Antonio was tired and they need to be more intense and more aggressive. Sounds like a corner man in a championship fight and trying to psych his guy up, because right now the aggressor seems to be the team in white.
And we talked about sending a message. That's what this game was all about. Right now the message being sent by the Spurs. They lost Sean Elliott to a back injury. They've had several players in foul trouble, and they still have a 6-point edge. Robinson against the double team finds Charles Smith. Blocked by Kemp. Brakowski, though, can't save it. He was on the baseline.
And George Karl wanted no possession. Charles Smith comes in hard, and again he has the habit of putting the ball just a little bit behind his head. That gives Kemp enough time to get to it.
Amazing, the Sonics are in the game with zero production from Hersey Hawkins on the bench at the moment. He averages 16 a game, 0 points today.
He'll be here tonight at 7:30. The real Hawk will fly tonight. And of course, there'll be no ball.
He'll be flying all right, but back to Seattle.
10 on the shot clock, so they said no possession. That means the Spurs got to get it up and down, and they're trying to communicate the idea they got to get a good shot.
Del Negro misses. Rebound collected by Brakowski. Kemp turns on Robinson. Offensive foul. Sean Kemp. Number 4.
The first time David Robinson didn't get the call. This time he reacted very nicely, saw where Sean Kemp was going, quick move to the baseline, and the foul against Kemp.
Sonics have Johnson and Kemp with 4, Purdue and Smith with 4 for San Antonio. Seattle has turned it over 5 times here in the fourth quarter, only once by the Spurs. Nice ball movement. Person for 3. Beautifully done. Timeout, Seattle.
Chuck Person has that ability to strike and ignite the crowd, and that's exactly what he's done for San Antonio.
Some people, they dream of flying. Some dream of seeing the world. Some simply live to be free. There's a beer for these people. New Miller beer. Brewed from the heart of the hops, it's a beer with heart that goes down easy. New Miller beer. In a land without fences, you reach for what's out there.
When we developed our advanced handling and driver control system, we looked to Lexus and BMW. But we didn't stop there. Chevy Blazer with the exclusive driver control system. Even if you never take it this far, it's nice to know it's there.
Announcing a powerful breakthrough of incredible proportions. Incredibly small proportions. New Actron, a powerful pain reliever with ketoprofen, finally available without a prescription. Actron is so powerful, just 12.5 milligrams are as effective as 200 milligrams of Advil or 650 milligrams of Tylenol for headaches and body pain. New Actron, the pain reliever that's so small because it's so powerful.
Sunday at 12:30 Eastern on NBC. History's in the making when Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and the Chicago Bulls go for a record-tying win number 69 when they face the Cavs. Then a Showtime matchup of superstars. Charles Barkley and the Suns battle Magic Johnson and the Lakers. An NBA on NBC doubleheader Sunday.
Look at Chuck Person, the old man. Look at that. Chuck Person coming up big, replacing the injured Sean Elliott, getting more minutes and leading this 9-0 San Antonio run, much to the delight of Bob Hill, who does look to send that message to Seattle.
Hannah Storm was inside the Sonic huddle. She said they're going to try to go through their inside game with Kemp, Payton, and Sam Perkins, excuse me. They get a foul inside.
It's on
David Robinson,
his 3rd foul. He and Kemp are really going at each other that time.
Second team, they can be aggressive. They have some fouls to give. Don't give up anything easy.
Hawkins back in the game, trying to get off the schneid. Perkins short on the jump hook, maybe partially deflected. Last touch by Person, they say. It'll be Seattle ball.
Good block inside by Charles Smith on the Sam Perkins hook. That's a tough shot to get to. And Person thought he had him under control and got the call against him, but they didn't.
Shrimp and Person bumping. Finally foul called on Chuck Person. His 4th.
Person told us earlier in the year that this really has revitalized his career. Coming from Minnesota, where everybody basically thought he was dead in the water and washed up, he's come as one of the castaways that's made up a very aggressive and winning situation for Bob Hill. He says, I played for Bob Hill. Bob Hill understands my mentality. I understand his. I do whatever it takes to win. And it's been a blessing for him to come to San Antonio. Shrimp gets 1 of 2.
Chuck said he's played for 20 different coaches, and Bob Hill fits in best of all. He understands his role better now, Chuck says. He's not the star anymore. He understands his role, and he's understood it well today. Getting more minutes with the injury to Sean Elliott, and as we said, coming up very big.
Shot clock at 8, and they're just in front of us, so they're trying to get the ball to David Robinson.
They do, and the Admiral can't hit. Kemp taps it to himself. That is 9 rebounds for Sean.
The story of the game has been whenever Seattle has gotten down by 9 or 11 points, they've surged back with a run of their own, and they've gotten 3 back to 6-point game.
Robinson against Perkins. Kemp threatened to double team, did not. Now the double comes from Payton. Del Negro touch pass to Johnson, and he travels.
The best way to avoid a turnover is to shoot the ball, and Avery Johnson had a jump shot, didn't take it. George Karl, sensing they have a chance, calls a 20-second timeout.
Turnovers all even at 18 apiece as he argues his case to no avail. 20-second timeout by the Sonics. Don't forget tomorrow another NBA doubleheader here on NBC. Michael Jordan and the Bulls take on the Cleveland Cavaliers looking for win number 69. Second half of the doubleheader, Magic and the Lakers against Charles Barkley and the Suns. That's an NBA doubleheader starting at 12:30 Eastern time tomorrow. The Bulls and the Cavs followed by the Lakers and the Suns. Avery Johnson, who is the emotional heart of this San Antonio team, has had more turnovers than usual today, but he is the man that makes us go. The Sonics taking a 20-second timeout reminds me that a few games ago, Avery Johnson called a 20-second timeout for his team and went over to the sideline and chewed out all his teammates. David Robinson said he'll do that even when he's wrong. And he said he was wrong then, but he's always getting people going. He said, David, I'm more of a one-on-one man myself.
He said Avery was way wrong, and, you know, they both turned the ball over. If turnovers were to be the big item, one would have to have a bigger edge, and San Antonio hasn't made the mistakes that have cost them because Seattle hasn't been able to cash in.
That was a careless pass by Charles Smith. Comes from 4:20 left in the game. And the Spurs leading by 6. There the turnovers all even at 19. Perkins misses a 3. Shrimp the offensive board. That one never got above the level of the rim and was cleared by Robinson. 13 rebounds for the Admiral.
Obviously, Sean Kemp left all of those jump shots in warm-up. He couldn't miss, and now he can't make, and they do need a perimeter shot from him personally.
He misses the outside shot. Tapped twice. Finally claimed by Hawkins. Quick outlet to Payton. 2-on-2. Shrimp lays it up and slams it down.
That's a huge effort from Detlef Shrimp. He was sprinting all the way and caught the vision of Gary Payton for the throwdown.
He was sprinting full speed from backcourt, and Payton got it right to him.
4-point game. Since they had their 9-point lead, San Antonio's been outscored 5-0 to let Seattle back in it. Avery Johnson now takes this shot.
Payton on the fly. 3-on-3, broken up by Robinson. Shrimp gets it back. Payton trying to post up Johnson.
Well, David Robinson's going to react if he has a chance to come over. He'll close that off. They come back to Sean Kemp. Shot clock at 8.
Against Robinson. He blocked it out of bounds. Back to Seattle. Second block of the day for David Robinson.
One away from 2,000, but this is a huge one. Kemp thought he was at the rim, and Robinson was well above it. Hersey Hawkins arrives.
His first bucket of the day.
What time is it?
It's just about his time, I guess. He said he expects those games to start at 7:30. He's starting to heat up. It's a 2-point game.
Like a rock, I was strong as I could be. Like a rock, nothing ever got to me.
After the kind of day you put in, all you want to do is fall into a nice, comfortable easy chair in a quiet place.
Like a rock.
Of course, sooner or later, you'll have to go home.
I am a grandfather that takes pleasure in doing anything I can for the kids, and they know it too. I've never been rich and never really wanted to be. I just feel you should live comfortably, but you don't need to be a fool about it. And I try to impart that to my grandchildren. And you got to have a goal and an aim in life in order to get anywhere.
It looks like a perfect day. Sounds like it, too. With a hot, tasty breakfast, served fast and fresh from the place more folks go for breakfast, McDonald's. Looks like you've got your day well in hand.
Get on your way to a perfect day. Have you had your break today?
Antonio Tarver, defending world champion, widely considered America's top amateur boxer. Terrence Coffin, nicknamed The Heat. He hopes to turn it up this summer in Atlanta. Lawrence Clave, a 30-year-old super heavyweight with Olympic dreams. It's do or die in this, the final trial. The U.S. Olympic box-offs next Saturday on NBC.
This is the NBA on NBC.
Detlef Schrempf is the hero of the moment for the Seattle Supersonics, and the little things make a difference. We'll circle Schrempf right here. He's about 90 feet away, and the court is 94 feet long, and he just sprints and beats every San Antonio Spur to the other end of the floor to get them within 4 points, and then they come back with 2 more. It's a 2-point game.
It's been a game of spurts in recent minutes. The Spurs ran off 9 in a row. The Sonics answer with 7 straight points.
Del Negro.
$16 for Vinny, and the lead back to 4.
And he who surges last will win the game, and that's what San Antonio's hope is, that they will be able to hold it. 2:34 to go in the game.
Payton on the post-up of Johnson. Robinson forced the pass out.
Shot clock at 6.
Perkins running hook.
Big
offensive
rebound,
board
Kemp.
by Kemp. Saved by Payton. Perkins for 3. Kemp the offensive rebound. Dishes it back outside. 10 rebounds now for Shawn Kemp. And a foul underneath as Kemp tried to take it up.
David Robinson, twice they looked like they had done their job, closed them down, but it was second possessions, rebounds by Kemp that kept it alive, and now Shawn Kemp will go to the line.
So 4 on David, and Kemp will shoot 2. First point in the 4th period for Shawn Kemp, 13 in the game.
Hawkins out.
Nate McMillan in.
They're thinking defense at their end of the floor with 2:05 left.
Kemp misses the second free throw. The lead is 3 for San Antonio. Just under 2 minutes left.
Excuse me, whenever they get in trouble, they try to find David Robinson, and he's not on the side of the floor that he really likes best. He likes to be on the left side of the floor. They tie up Charles Smith.
There's the famous Seattle trap. Payton coming to double and tying up Charles Smith. And they'll jump it up at the center circle.
Smith didn't want to make a mistake and went into a crab shell, which allowed Payton to stick his arm in there and tie him up. And what Smith and San Antonio were legislating for, they wanted a jump ball at their end underneath the basket. They come back to center court. San Antonio should have the tip, but the Sonics are going to think gamble, try to make a steal.
Smith 6'10", Payton 6'4". A crab shell, huh? 3 full timeouts for the Sonics, 2 for San Antonio. Seattle still has a foul to give.
Big men always do that when they think that they're protecting the ball.
Smith barely wins the tap. San Antonio controls as David Robinson is knocked to the floor and fouled by Detlef Schrempf. His 3rd personal.
Team foul, though, so it's a first in the last 2 minutes. They'll go penalty situation from here on. And Person said, look, I don't want to make a mistake. Call a timeout.
Several times that's happened to San Antonio today. It does save possession. The NBA on NBC.
For immediate release.
Former divisions of AT&T communications experts going freelance after 125 years. Bell Labs coming with us. Available now. Lucent Technologies. We make the things that make communications work.
Goodyear revolutionized wet traction design with AquaTread. Now, Goodyear introduces InfiniTread, the first tire with a lifetime tread life warranty. The new all-season InfiniTread. Its tread is guaranteed for as long as you own your car. Call 1-800-GOODYEAR.
What do you get when you cross a high-quality conventional motor oil with an advanced formula synthetic? A revolutionary oil that protects better than regular oils, yet costs less than full synthetics. DuraBlend from Valvoline. Valvoline's the #1 choice of top mechanics.
This job has taught me firsthand about pressure. Every day you're faced with a new challenge. So how do you prepare yourself? You need to build your skills, because being a parent is probably the toughest job we'll ever have. It takes patience, love, and support. And it takes a team. So reach out to your friends, family, and community, and we can help make a world where child abuse doesn't exist.
Sunday, an intergalactic event. Travel to the far reaches of the galaxy.
I shall blow you out of the stars.
Fire! For the final voyage of the Starship Enterprise. We surrender! Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, NBC Sunday.
Two normally high-scoring teams, Seattle and San Antonio, both averaging over 104 points a game. In the 80s here with 1:43 left. Spurs have led throughout most of the game, hoping to nail down the Midwest Division Championship, second spot in the Western Conference playoffs. And Seattle hoping to cement the top spot and the best record in the West.
The one thing that San Antonio can't afford to do is get tentative at their end of the floor. You've got to be aggressive against pressure, and they're now trying to bring David Robinson to the ball. Shot clock at 9. Avery Johnson's got it clear. They got too many people around there. They're lucky to get out of there. It's a turnover.
They didn't get out. Avery Johnson brought his man in for an effective triple team against David Robinson, and the Spurs turn it over. Here's Hersey Hawkins getting in the game in a quick moment to get some firepower on the court for George Karl.
Now, George Karl told us yesterday that this game didn't mean that much. He was going to try to manage his minutes, and he was going to try to keep Kemp, who helped him, his minutes down below 40, Payton below, but I think Gary Payton is close to 40 minutes this afternoon.
Trent travels. Costly Seattle turnover. Turnovers have been so important in this game. One of the reasons it's low scoring, good defense and turnovers. In fact, the Spurs have turned it over 3 times the last 4 minutes.
Now watch him shuffle the feet before he puts the ball down. He didn't like the call, but he did move both feet.
Approaching the 1-minute mark. Spurs with the ball up 3.
The longer you hold the ball, the easier it is for the defense to read and react. And now you're going against the clock. You got to get it up in the air, trying to get the ball to David Robinson, Avery Johnson.
Robinson fouled as he tried to take it up. With only 2 to shoot, McMillan with the foul, basket-saving foul.
It was, because that was going to be a hammer job. I mean, David Robinson was ready to power this one up. Avery Johnson got David Robinson to clear, and then Nate McMillan had no choice.
Each team has attempted 25 free throws today. San Antonio has hit now 16 of 26 as George Karl wanted the block instead of the foul. Seattle 19 of 25 at the free throw line.
They go offense to defense at the other end of the floor. Doc Rivers comes in for Vinny Del Negro, so defense is more important for Bob Hill. He thinks David Robinson will make the second free throw.
No good. It's a 4-point lead as Seattle calls a timeout. 45.6 remaining.
An all-new Sunday starts with Mad About You. It's Jamie's turn for baby testing, and check out her hunky doctor.
Would you take off the mask?
And a new news radio. Mr. James lost something big in poker.
Bill.
What?
Bill.
Right here.
I don't think you're understanding me. I lost Bill.
All new NBC Sunday.
No, this is not an Eastern Conference game. It's 84-80, a low-scoring fourth quarter on both ends of the court. 11 points Seattle, 14 San Antonio. There's the timeout situation. Each team with one full timeout left.
But at about the 6-minute mark, they were trying to get the ball into Sean Kemp, Sam Perkins, or Gary Payton down and low. And we'll find out whether they are able to post up Sean Kemp, who's now being guarded by David Robinson.
Trent for three. Air ball. Sixteenth rebound by David Robinson. Now the Sonics.
Chuck, take no chances person. Calls another timeout. All they have to do now is pass the ball and make the Sonics foul them. The shot clock is at 15. The game clock is at 26.3.
And that is the last San Antonio timeout. 26.3 seconds left. And a 4-point lead at 84-80. Well, the message being sent. Both teams with something to play for in terms of clinching today. And beyond that, looking to send a message to the other that come playoff time in less than 2 weeks, if we meet in the playoffs, the season series will be equal at 2-2 if San Antonio holds on. And you think the Spurs have successfully sent that message?
Well, I think they have. I think if they have said, you know, early in the season, you got us. But we've responded here late in the season, and if you come into this building, don't think that you're going to win a ball game. I think that that's really what they wanted to prove. I think Seattle tried to downplay it by saying it's not that important, but you've seen the way that they played, the way that Carl has managed the game. This is an important win for them as well.
And effectively, the Spurs have been without Sean Elliott, who was injured early in the game, really didn't play many minutes at all, so they have to be heartened by their performance without their second leading scorer.
You always look for someone to step up, and Czech person really stepped up this afternoon. And we'll take a look at what the Western Conference would look like if the playoffs started today. Seattle in the #1 position would get Sacramento. You look at where San Antonio is, they would play the Phoenix Suns, Utah and Portland, the Lakers and Houston.
And if the Eastern Conference started today, the Bulls would take on Miami, of course, with Orlando meeting Atlanta. Indiana, Detroit, New York against Cleveland. Miami did win today, battling Charlotte for that 8th and final, Charlotte and Washington, for that 8th and final playoff spot in the East.
Washington's on a surge. Now Chuck can't call any more timeouts. So he's got to get this ball in. They can't afford a mistake. They had beaten the pressure once. Now they got to make sure they get a good inbound pass. Del Negro open.
Sonics don't want to foul now. Under 10 on the shot clock. Chuck Person for three. That would have iced it. And a rebound, loose ball foul. David Robinson, #5.
David Robinson was hoping that they wouldn't call his number, that Perkins had pushed him away from the ball, but Perkins sealed him off. So that gives the Sonics a chance to stop the clock, score 2 points, and keep the pressure on the San Antonio Spurs. 15.2 seconds left in the ball game.
Sean Kemp in this fourth quarter has only 1 point. As Sam Perkins with 15.2 seconds and his team down 4. Big miss. Will Perdue is in. And Doc Rivers will come in too as Charles Smith and Avery Johnson go out.
They need this one from Perkins to make it a 3-point contest, and with one possession possibly get a 3-point play of some type. So Perkins has got to really concentrate here. Otherwise, they're going to be forced to try to foul to get the ball back.
Perkins has 14 points, but all came in the first half. Second free throw is good. 84-81. Full court pressure.
Oh, McMillan had it and lost it.
Now David Wingate will come in for Seattle.
Now, what George Karl is trying to do is put all the people in that have the ability to steal the ball. If they don't steal it, they're going to try to foul very quickly to stop the clock and make San Antonio make the free throws. You got to have somebody that can handle the ball and also make an inbound pass. Doc Rivers, the guy.
Chuck Person, who just came in backcourt. They almost got it away from him until a foul is called. It will be on Kemp or Payton. It's on Payton.
Well, Chuck was not going to give it up. It was either going to get fouled or it was going to be a jump ball. But Avery Johnson had come down to give him some relief. He had no parts of that.
10.7 showing on the clock. Spurs by 3. Chuck Person to shoot a pair.
They want one from Person out of this.
His first free throw of the game. He has 15 points. Still a one-possession game. Neither team has a timeout.
Missed them both.
Rebound Kemp. Well, we were told they did not have a timeout. They have one left, and they just used it. So timeout Seattle with 9.6 left.
Three-point ball game, and tomorrow we may have a similar situation as we got a doubleheader coming up, Tom.
Doubleheader coming up tomorrow starting at 12:30 Eastern Time. First game will match the Bulls and the Cavs as Michael Jordan and company look for their 69th win of the season. Second game, Sir Charles against Magic, the Suns and the Lakers. NBA doubleheader starts at 12:30 Eastern Time tomorrow.
Easy to get confused. Chuck Person was the guy that burned all of their timeouts, and we thought that Seattle was in a similar situation. He thought he was going to be the hero of the afternoon, and he's played a little bit too close to the vest. The Sonics have possession 10.4. If you're San Antonio, what you want to do is get possession of the ball. And you want to make Seattle work for a two-point shot without fouling them, and don't give up a four-point play on a three-point shot. Possession is everything for San Antonio, and that's what they've got to talk about over in their huddle. And Seattle's got to figure out how to get a score, either a 2 or a 3 very quickly, and then get the ball back.
.4 seconds left here at the Alamo Dome. Final regular season meeting between the two best teams in the Western Conference.
They want to get a quick inside score from Sean Kemp if they can. Seattle is just 19% on threes, but people that can make threes in this situation, Detlef Schrempf, Sam Perkins. Over their careers, they've been huge under the gun.
Inbounds pass to Kemp. Behind the line. Missed it. Got it back. A three-pointer, no good. Rebounded by Rivers with 2 seconds left, and that's it. Sean Kemp had an open three to tie the game and couldn't get it down. Let's go to Hannah Storm with David Robinson.
David, you clinched the Midwest Division. You do it with Sean Elliott hurt. How important to beat this team in this way going into the playoffs?
It was very important. We wanted to even up the series with Seattle. Wanted to come in here and make a statement in the national TV game. It was really a chance for us to step forward.
All right, good luck in the playoffs. We'll see you then. Congratulations on the Midwest. Tom?
All right, Hannah, so the San Antonio Spurs, led by Robinson's 24 points and 16 boards, send the message, we're a factor in the playoffs. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow, the doubleheader, Michael Jordan and the Bulls against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Then Magic Johnson and the Lakers host Charles Barkley and the Suns, 12:30 Eastern. Again, our final score, San Antonio 84, Seattle 81. Now Tom Hammond for Steve Jones and Hannah Storm saying so long. You've been watching the NBA on NBC.
The PGA Seniors Championship, the NBA playoffs, the French Open, the U.S. Open, Wimbledon, the NBA Finals, baseball's All-Star Game, and the Olympic Games in Atlanta. The great events are all on America's sports leader, NBC.